welcome to Politics and the finale of Politics and Plagues. We have a full house today with all of our six characters uh, in play. And just so I can make sure everybody's their sound. Yep, their sound. All right. That might show up on the feed. I didn't think about that. Oh well. Aside from that, everything's good, everything's fine. First of all, just wanted to thank you all for joining in, and also a big shout out to our sponsors, Roll20, Tabletop Loot, Sur Nerdware, and Devon Rue for sponsoring and supporting the channel. If you type exclamation mark sponsors, you can get all the linky links that will take you to all of our wonderful sponsors. In addition, if you want to support us, Patreon's the way to do it. Our Patreon supports the bulk of the operations here, and subs and bits will give you some awesome emotes while giving the players some extra benefits for September, which is almost over, still about a week left. If you give us 500 bits or tier 1, a player of your choice gets a reroll. And if it is 1,000 bits or tier 2, then a player gets a crit, or in this game, it's a 12. And if you want to know more about our Patreon, just type exclamation mark Patreon to get our info. And as always, you can join us on our Discord. If you type exclamation mark Discord, you can get the link to our wonderful server. And now let's quickly go around the table and find out who all are joining us for our adventure. So we'll start maybe from the last time we did it. Let's start with Ulfrig.
Hi, I go by Ulfrig online, and I will be playing Ifran, the fire genasi immolator.
It's all elements.
It's, somewhere in there. Waterbending, airbending, firebending, we're good.
It's some Avatar shit, it's fine.
Yeah.
And next is our very own Angela.
Well, hi there, everybody. I'm Angela. I'm going to be playing Aubrey, I am now describing her as essentially stressed medical student wizard.
And also the wonderful composer of our theme that all of you heard just before we came in. And next, Simon.
Hello, I am Simon, and I will be playing Madur, the elephant folk bard.
Next up, Jess.
Yes, that's me. Hi, I wasn't here last week, and now there are new faces. I really like these faces. And today, I will be playing Karuna, the human druid, with an affinity for water.
And next is Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am playing Yasmin, the Furbolg Ranger.
And last but certainly not least, Fox.
Joke's on you, I am least. My name is Fox, and I will be playing Sharmilla, the human fighter.
Awesome.
Lies.
No, I really am playing Sharmilla, the human fighter. What are you talking about?
You know what's what.
I've done 3 episodes without fighting anything. I'm seeing if I can make it 4.
Well, considering we're a cliffhanger, we'll see.
It'll be fine. We'll talk to these people. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Madura's got away with words.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, so who would like to give a quick summary of what happened last game?
So, last time, Sharmilla met up with an old friend and her friend's friend, Ifran and Aubrey. And Yasmin, who had been away for half of an episode, went out to hunt with Sayad, her bird, and communed with ducks. Just talked, gossiped with ducks. And they found out they needed to go to a certain place to find out stuff that had been going on involving people. And think we also went back to one of the courtesan houses. Was that last week?
Yes, that
Mhm.
was.
Yep.
Okay, that is about that and the very end are what I mainly remember because I have had a hell of a week. So
That is okay.
Fair.
So to quickly perhaps sum up some key points, you got the ducks basically gave you a lead of, oh, there's this really weird tent that is bigger on the inside than the outside.
that was it. And we got information from the tent after who was it that Ifran kind of hypnotized them into letting us go in. And then we found out there were soldiers in there, and we snuck out the back. I remember that much.
Well, kind of. You kind of snuck out the way you came, but you did notice some crates on your way out.
Oh yeah.
And it was a secondary merchant tent that clearly was not a merchant tent. And you got some information about some of their dealings and plans.
Yeah, they were telling their people not to use their own blankets, something like that.
Yep, and to make sure that they were inoculated against diseases. So they have crates of things that were marked as medical aid, which we didn't confirm or deny that actually are medical supplies or are a way of spreading the disease that's going through the city. And we also discovered that they have plans to take over the land that the Golbahar and Ungarkana courtesan houses are on and replace them with their own. And they're trying to petition the prince to do something about that because they know what the prince is into.
And as you were all sitting, you got a message
maybe not in that way.
saying another dancer had been hit, and you went to investigate.
We also found out through the miracle of godlike rolls that Madhur had last session, and perhaps will continue this next session, along with my medical training. We helped heal the person who was hurt, but we also, I forget how exactly we found out, but we discovered that there was another planned attack, which led us into sort of our cliffhanger moment of trying to investigate that possible attack and getting a sense of, oh no, we see it's going to be happening over there based off of reading location and where we were at in terms of where we were located. And that was sort of the moment where we all left off at. Yes, I did this. This indicates direction. It very likely would indicate a dog spinning in a circle, but I realized that my hand gestures mean nothing at this point.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself.
I was just indicating my fatties over here.
Good job.
Oh, they both are such sweet little black floofs. Sorry, just cats. Cats just make me.
Yeah.
We've gone
Evidently.
0 days without Stream Kitty.
Never, yeah, ever.
Why would we? I mean, we literally have a command for it.
By the way, time to stream kitty was 10 minutes this time. So again, anybody on that pool, there's your payout.
Yep.
10 minutes.
Well, I started with this guy here.
Yeah, technically we never had a minute.
Well, that was the
without
pre-roll.
us.
There's always two pools. That was the pre-roll pool. This is the roll. This is the live pool.
Gotcha.
Anyways, back into the game. You were turning the corner to find your quarry when last game ended, and now we're gonna play with, the wibbly wobbly timey wimey thing a little. And Karuna, when you decided to investigate certain things that your intuition told you, what did you do? And this is pretty much what we covered off screen.
Yes. So originally, Karuna was going to hang out with Yasmin's buddy and be able to be a doppelganger of your bird friend. But then you went off and did things and talked to ducks. So Karuna had to go be a fuzzy little mouse and infiltrate the quarantine space. That's what I was doing while you guys were talking with ducks. It was It was a lot. Yes, anime art heart eyes are very important there because a druid is a fluffy little mouse. Come on now. Okay, so when I entered the chawl, all we knew about it was that everyone, all the poor people got centered in on it, right? And then no one was allowed to come out. As I walked in, I noticed that there's kind of like a gradient of like sickness going on. We went to the far back, and the little mouse Karuda found a lot of dead bodies, guys. And if you remember, my little nurse friend at the tent said that the first death was at the tent, so I was very confused. And then I saw the giant pile of dead bodies, and they were covered in blankets, and they weren't our people. They were very significantly more decayed than the week of quarantine would have given them. And I tore a piece of the blankets that were covering these bodies and tried to like wrap it so that the blue scabs didn't touch me and mouse me didn't get sick. And then I had to wrap it around as a scarf and scuttle away. But those blankets seem to originate from a different place than here. And I'm scuttling around trying to find you guys.
And you last remember they would have been at the medical tent. So when you go there, you don't see them there.
Yeah. I'm like...
Do you still stay in mouse form? Or have you shifted back into human?
Before I walk... I do not scuttle into the medical tent in mouse form. I would have transformed out, but usually when I transform, I tend to retain a couple of those little tendencies. So if I don't see them, I will look for my nurse friend, and I'm still like hyperventilating a little. I'm like,
what, Karuna, what's wrong?
Have you seen my friends? Remember how I said I was going to, find a way inside of the tent?
Yeah, except then you wouldn't have been able to come out.
Oh, I have my ways. And I take the little piece of blanket out of the pocket. I'm like, it's very important. I'm sure it's important for you to see this because you're smart about this, and I'm sure you'd understand that.
Gingerly takes it with gloved hands and says, "Oh, I see you found a sample of cobalt box."
Is that what this is?
Well, no, that's just what we're calling it.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, but look at the scabs. They're old.
Okay, well, look at it. As for your friends, they saw Aubrey with one of the patient's parents. Well, no, you weren't here, so you wouldn't know. Anyways, so they went off in search of some tent in the north. They haven't come back yet.
Okay, but you realize what this means, right?
Yeah, this might be useful, but I can't really make out what this is until I have time to look at it.
There were dead bodies there.
Okay. There's dead bodies.
You told me the first one to die was here, but there are dead bodies in there that have been dead.
There are?
Yes.
Well, the guard didn't report any bodies.
Of course they didn't. Because humans are corrupt.
Okay, would you like a seat?
No, I need to find my friends.
Okay. Well, I'll have a word with the guard while I give this...
No, don't say the guard. Don't guards words. Don't say anything to the guards yet.
Okay, I won't say anything to the
They
guards
might
yet.
kill you.
Why would they kill...
There's clearly someone wants these people dead. Our people? Well, technically your people, but I feel like I'm a part of this now, and the land deserves peace. These humans are messing it up. I don't know what's going on. Just don't say anything. Study the scabs. Figure out
Okay.
what it is.
Okay.
It doesn't come from here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes! And I whisk away.
And at this point, we will cut back to all of you, everyone else turning the corner. And
Oh my god, do I run into someone? Face
maybe.
first.
Who knows? And as everyone except for Karuna, you are in the entertainment district, turning a corner into an alley, when you see three figures stalking clearly a dancer that is out of that is basically on their way to somewhere. And you can tell just quickly, just in the moment's notice, is that the dancer is walking very carefully as if they know they're being followed. What do you do?
Excuse me. You appear to be lost.
And
They
who?
shout at the figures.
And they turn around and they say, "No, we're not lost." And at this point, the dancer suddenly straightens up and books it. And then you hear the two of them swearing and giving chase while the other
Don't
turns
run.
around.
Don't run.
Immediately pulling out a vial from one of the arm bracelets that I have and being, hopefully this works, and trying to chuck it and cast a spell to see if I can get something to work because I don't want them to leave.
Are you casting sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Casting. Oh my god, I just got it. Oh, okay.
Hey, 7.
Yay! Okay, so you do cast the spell, but which of the effects are you taking?
I am taking. Charmilla's right there. She's already drawn attention to us. You draw unwelcome attention to put yourself in a spot.
All right.
But in having that happen,
What is the specific
I'm
spell's
going to have
effect?
sleep cast.
Okay.
So I rolled
yeah.
4.
So
I
you-
rolled max of sleep.
So there are 4 figures, in not including your party members. Who do you choose to put to sleep?
Of the GM's choice.
Oh, of the GM's choice.
Oh boy.
Okay, so you managed to throw it right in the middle of all 4 of them, and all 4 of them just drop to the ground and fall asleep.
Okay. That worked better than I thought it would. Do not make a loud noise. If you do, they will wake up. Going to very carefully go and take the weapons.
And I will move to assist once it's clear that that's what Aubrey's doing. It's just whatever weapons they have on them.
What is Ifran, Yasmin, and Mother doing?
I like give the softest possible golf clap of whispering under my breath, very impressive. I will commend you further later when it is less dangerous, and move close to like
Less words, more doing. Less words, more doing.
yeah, Madura is definitely like not like being dragged along to like help move things out of the way, or like is getting close to the guards to these people to try and like search their pockets, but also kind of looking out for danger, like, oh, and is there anyone coming down the street?
Actually, I take it back. I wouldn't move to get their weapons. I'd be moving to the dancer to make sure that they were okay.
Oh, true.
In
I
that
just realized they
case,
got knocked out as well.
I'll move to the potential attackers and get their weapons and use my, it's not called fire shape in this one. What's it called? Handcrafted, to
Ooh.
see if I can fashion them into manacles for them.
Yeah. Does that just happen, or do you do a roll for that?
I think it just happens. You can unmake things as well, but to do so without time or safety might require that you defy danger first. So it sounds like it's kind of your choice.
Yeah, I would say defy danger, dexterity to sort of craft it quietly.
Oops.
Can I
I rolled
aid?
charisma. Let me try it with Dex.
Oh, okay. So before that, how are you aiding Yasmin?
I am going to.
You don't need to. That's a 12.
Yeah,
Well, you're good. We're
Okay.
good.
okay.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Spicy.
Which is
Okay.
surprising. But anyway.
Yeah, so describe to me how you fashion it deftly.
So they're not like fancy clasping manacles or anything. I basically just take, like, if one of them has a sword or something, I kind of blunt the edges and then just like tie it in a knot around their wrists. Like, it's not even metal, but
So it's
if
almost
they try and move,
it's almost like those I've seen these new sort of cuffs which are like made out of swords, where it's just like a sword that's been bent into a circle.
it is now. Yes.
Oh no, it's sharp. They might cut themselves. Oh darn.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Whatever will we do? It's not like there's a trained medical professional right next to them if they start bleeding out, and if I care.
That second point is more what I would be, yeah,
So
tuned to.
while that is happening, Sharmila and I think Madhur, you said you were assisting the dancer.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
this-
Well, how
once those other
exactly
two
are
are-
you assisting?
Hey, wake up. Shake, shake, shake. Are you okay? Are you injured? Did anyone hurt you?
She comes
kind of thing.
to, she comes to, and is like, what? What happened? Fight you!
You're not gonna. No, you will not. I am fantastically strong. Are you injured? Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I heard that another attack had happened, and I thought I would maybe bait them.
What? Hey, do you have like an ambush or something set up?
No, but I was going to.
Well, that's a terrible trap, friend. You have to have a snare to put the bait inside of. Otherwise, you'll end up in positions like this. But you have had an exciting night. You should go and take care of yourself now. Do you have a safe way home?
Yeah, I can. Well.
Excellent. Go home, drink some tea. We will take care of these ruffians for you.
And she looks at what you're doing with the weapons and everything. She's like, oh, yeah, okay. And she'll skitter off. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, I assume you follow clues and find your way to your friends. How do you think you find them eventually, Karuna?
Clearly it's faster to become one with Mouse again. I will snuffle and skittle and go everywhere I can.
I will say, point of order, if you want something that would definitely stand out as you're moving around town, didn't Saeed like hit a clothesline and go into somebody's stuff and make a big ruckus?
Yeah, you notice, you see Sayad and you recognize Sayad and you decide to follow where Sayad's going until they basically get clothesline into a clothesline and fall down, like not take any damage, more ego bruise than anything else, and fall to the ground wrapped up in like a burbito.
I don't want to be that person, but are you noticing Saeed while you're still a mouse?
I was going to mention something. Sayed stares at you, cocks their head a little because this is no ordinary mouse, but also
No.
mouse.
Don't you dare, Sayad. I am friend of Yasmin.
You are prey, but friend of Yasmin?
No,
I don't
not prey.
understand.
Not prey.
Just turn human.
I just it'll be okay. Okay, just
Release
sometimes.
me. Release me from this clothed person.
Okay. But
Big
you
mood.
can't eat me if I release you, understand?
I have eaten. I shall not eat you.
Just turned into an Aesop's fable all of a sudden. What the hell is going on?
My nimble fingers will release and untangle the clothesline. And then, are there people around here? Like, am I close to the people? Or is it just an alleyway?
You see a couple of people sort of screaming from down there, my linens!
My cabbages. Okay. Nah, it's fine. I'll pop back into a human, I guess. And I'm like, hey, see, remember? Here it is. And I'm like unraveling Syad. I'm like, cool. Now can we go find Yasmin?
Yeah. Yasmin went that way. And you turn the corner as as you see manacles being put on and a dancer leaving. And everyone else, except for Aubrey and Ifran, you see your friend Karuna return.
Look, brought your friend. Here you go.
Oh, there's Syad. Oh, I'm gonna reach out for him and try to soothe his feathers.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how those feathers happened. They're a little tousled. No reason whatsoever. They're +2. Cool. Louder.
Quiet.
Who are you?
At this point, the three people manacled start to awake and be like, why are these hot? Wait, why are these my blades? Why are they wrapped around me?
I kick one of them. Quiet you.
Do we recognize the clothing that they're wearing? Are they wearing like distinctive uniforms?
They're wearing Gulbahar uniforms.
Mm.
However, they speak with a accent.
Aha.
Huh.
Why you hit me so much?
Because you were very rude, tiny Frenchman. And I crouched down.
What have you guys done?
I would like an explanation as to why you were stalking that dancer, please.
They are rival companion house.
Try again. That's a lie.
Well, they are. We are from Gulbahar. See?
No, you're not. That's a lie as well. You have a French accent. That means you're not. You're no. No. Try again. I want the truth, please. Thank you.
Can I use discern realities?
Yes, you may. They are telling the truth. They
to me.
yeah, they are totally from the Gulbahar. They must have been recent hires. You know, they must be accepting foreign help.
They're from the branch facility.
I don't know. Everybody, maybe we accidentally attacked like her bodyguards. I don't know.
No.
Perhaps.
The dancer told me that she was specifically trying to draw these people out. These are not bodyguards.
Were you
and they're
tailing
also
a
not from
dancer?
here.
What are you guys
Briefly.
doing?
They were in
So you were
trouble.
tailing the dancer who was being
Well,
tailed by these guards?
See, first I talked to some ducks, and then we went to, it's a long story.
You can talk to ducks?
Yeah,
Aren't they so personable?
they really are.
They are. Everyone
But-
thinks they're assholes.
They told us to find this tent, and this tent had these people who were soldiers from somewhere else, and
They may be
now
linked
that I
to the
think
attack
about it,
business.
yeah, now that I think about it, their accent sounds kind of like
Eastern?
No, they don't sound Eastern whatsoever.
Dang it.
More appropriate in this setting to say Western.
Yep.
I have a reason.
Yeah, you do have a reason. Which
You've never seen Kurta so paranoid.
I think whatever Karuna's level of paranoia is, Aubrey's matching that same level, but on like the spectrum of like, just am I the only one who understands like this situation is absurd and that we need to resolve it very quickly? Like she's slowly descending into like somewhere between panic and stress, like episode.
Perhaps a delicate touch is required, despite the circumstances.
tickling.
Not at this particular juncture, but a fine suggestion regardless. My dear compatriots, my name is Mador. I am a traveling merchant. My companions and I are investigating the spread of a disease in this town. We're well aware that there
you
are
lord
outsiders.
district full of disease.
I kick him. Do not interrupt my friend, please. Thank you.
We are. Thank you, Sharmila. We are well aware that a disease is spread and that it is being placed here by an outside force.
You already know that? Don't spit on the ground. That's disgusting, and that's how disease spreads. Stop it.
You are all worthy of being spitted on.
Pull out a vial that's full of yak
And-
that I keep in a bracelet, and I dump it on one of them. I'd like to tell the truth and get to the point. I'm very, very, very stressed right now, and you're very much wasting our time.
I'm just gonna put my boot onto the person who keeps talking and just look directly at them and do not speak.
So that I kind of bring it home and say, as you can see, my companions and I are well aware of the situation at hand, and we are prepared to do whatever it takes to get the answers that we need. We would like not to harm you this night, but if you continue to be foolish, we will be forced to take actions that we do not wish to. So I will only ask once, whom do you serve? And I would like to use charming and open, which is when you speak frankly with someone, you can ask their player a question from the list below, and they must answer it truthfully. But then they may ask you a question from the list, which I must also answer truthfully.
And as soon as Madura stops talking, I remove my boot from this person.
We serve the prince.
I see.
What?
You are royal guards,
No.
or you are mercenaries in his employ?
Hmm.
I take your silence as a yes.
And who are you, scum?
I am but a humble merchant with a desire to do right by the people of this city. Something that clearly you have no interest in doing. And so if you are unwilling to assist us in doing what is right and just and curing a disease which perhaps you have assisted in spreading, I believe our business is done here, and you may contemplate your actions from the depths of a dungeon owned by the prince.
You notice at this point they're clenching their teeth really hard, and one or two of them start foaming at the mouth, followed by the third.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
I look at Aubrey. Is that normal? That doesn't seem
say,
normal.
Say that again. They're clenching their teeth and they're foaming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're killing themselves with cyanide capsules.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, but would my character recognize this? And is there anything that I can do?
That sounds like a spout lore.
Yeah, that would be definitely a spout lore.
Okay, I'm quickly.
Or if you're
going
trying to stop them,
lore.
that sounds like defy danger.
Well, lore. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's a
Ooh.
13.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You definitely have seen these sometimes when you were learning your craft and dealing with various types of poisons. You know, sometimes those who have way too much information to be caught alive have a hollow tooth in which they can kind of bite into, and you know, a deadly poison that kills them pretty much instantaneously. The third one kind of bit theirs really late and is starting to foam. You might be able to do something.
Can I stick my hand in and pull, stop them from biting down the whole way?
Yeah, you can do that.
No.
I move to assist you immediately and just put my hand on their jaw.
Yeah, Medora has jumped back. This is no longer in his wheelhouse.
Can you make them puke? Would that help?
That
Not
you
those
actually
two.
speak quite a lot of wisdom at this point. Someone else either make them puke so if they're not already dead, or keep this one from doing anything.
What do I have to roll to make them puke?
How do you want to make them puke?
How do you make them puke?
I'm just gonna jam a finger down their throat.
That's a defy danger dexterity.
Can I assist by holding them in place? Because
yeah,
Got 2 arms.
I will just give you the +1 forward.
oh, okay.
Okay, so that's +1.
Yeah. Yeah, you managed to prevent them from A, biting down, and 2, puking up whatever might have fallen out. And yeah, fairly gross. There's
It works
puke all
sometimes
over
if you eat. It works sometimes if you eat bad berries. So.
However, the other 2 are dead. Those are the 2 that caught you by surprise.
There were 4, and now there are 2.
There were,
Well, there were
Three
3
attackers.
guards.
Four
One,
Okay.
One was a
One
dancer.
dancer.
There were 3 left. 2 of them bit down and are dead. 1 we've managed to stop.
Ah, got it.
Math. Dun 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 dun.
Bing.
As you now are mostly out of any sort of timed event and can have a prisoner, what would you all like to do?
We would be well suited to.
Go back to the tent. The medical.
Yes. I was also going to say, making sure that law enforcement is aware that we were not responsible for these deaths.
But he said they worked for the prince.
Not which one.
Might be a problem for us.
I might have too low a wisdom for this. I just want to put this out there for the table, though. Maybe we should rifle through the dead guy's pockets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuff and identification.
What is on their person? Discern reality?
No, they're dead.
They're dead,
Come on.
actually.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, as you
Resist.
rifle through, you find some coin. You find about, 3 coin on each of the dead people. And, of course, if you rifle through the living person, also 3 coin. You notice, as you're sort of rifling through, that each of them on their wrists, as you can see properly, and there's a tattoo of some sort of a crest. It's a very similar crest to what is in the secondary tent, signifying some.
Does it match the one that I pulled?
Yes.
Oh.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And I just hold it next to the. It's like I've seen that before, and I hold it right next to the tattoo.
That's a terrible tattoo to have. But that's informative. Good job. Disease.
You also find a note written in secondary on one of them, which I believe who had done the deciphering previously.
Yo.
Yeah, so you can sort of read, and it basically says the description of a dancer with a name and their route.
They had marching orders,
And payment.
clearly targeting this person specifically.
So you
And
saved a
information.
dancer. I'm sorry, who are you? What? I'm just very confused right now.
That's Ifran, and that's Aubrey. Ifran is my friend. Aubrey is very stressed.
And me, yes, rightfully so. I think we should all be stressed. Nice
Yes,
to meet
there
you,
is a-
Aubrey.
I like
A great
this one.
deal of things for us to grapple with at the moment.
Quite a lot. Quite a lot.
Yes.
Perhaps
Is
we should
everyone
inform the house.
okay?
Yes, we would be. I agree with Ivran. We would be well suited to informing both the younger Kana and the Golbahar that there is proof that they are being impersonated.
But first, would you like me to go get the guard, or do you have more questions for this villain?
It would be best if we were not found in an alley surrounded by dead bodies.
Agreed. Question. I realize this is somewhat silly to ask, but when we're searching their body, do we find any other hidden cyanide equivalent capsules on their person? Because that's the only thing I'm worried about trying to do a further conversation with them while they're awake.
There's basically on both their like molars on both sides. There's a capsule, like sort of like a hidden.
Is there one still in there?
There's one unopened one.
Not for long. I'm going in, Chief.
Yeah, especially if it looks painful to take out, I'll be like, don't worry, I'm a medical professional. Yoink.
Yeah, you take it out.
Ifron sees that and turns away and just kind of barfs a little in his mouth.
Oh. Apologies. Manners lost on me. A little stressed.
A harsh necessity.
Yes. But...
time is rapidly escaping us.
Yes.
Shall we walk and talk after depositing our quarry?
Much walking, many talking.
Now
you can go. I'll catch up. I'll go find guards to deal with.
You know that there's no guards per se. There's like, in this town there is the royal guard and the sort of watchmen or the watch people of the upper
There's
district
law enforcement, right?
Not really. There's the royal guard that currently the closest one would be the ones near the chawl that are patrolling. But as such, in the lower district and most places, you everybody takes care of themselves. So really, you probably would want to call one of the denizens of this residence area and be like, "There's
I
bodies
go to
here."
the first front door I find, but while my friends depart. At that point, then
they look at the bodies and they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll call the undertaker," and sort of look at you, close the door.
All right, very well then. Well, that was very quick. I will catch up quickly to my friends. And I run after them.
And just to clarify, we've taken the live one with us, yes?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're not leaving them behind. We're just making sure that they can't kill themselves while we're trying to get them somewhere.
I imagine you've gagged them so that you don't have to physically have hand and mouth.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't have any more cyanide in them, I mean, we don't have to stop them from biting on something that's not there.
And they're just like in pain and they're just following along.
What are we doing with this person? And what does this have to do with the disease?
We think that they're the ones that might have been spreading the disease.
Oh,
yes.
Involved in some ways, at least foot soldiers carrying out the orders of those who are involved with this. It's a rather complicated affair. The tent that we went to had a lot of quite mature, what would be a nice, eloquent way of putting this? Terrifying, scary, shitty things inside of it. Would that be?
Yes, I believe you put it better than I could. A barracks, a military barracks. These secondary, these outsiders have come here to trade, but their true motivations seem unclear. They appear to be spreading the disease, or at least aware of the disease, and are capitalizing on it for their own personal gain, and are manipulating the prince to attempt to claim the Golbahar and Angarkana houses for themselves.
but why? Okay, I'm not putting two and two together. Like, why would they spread the disease? Definitely someone is spreading the disease. Why would they spread the disease? But also, like, what does that have to do with the dancers? I just found out dancers don't always dance, so I'm very
People are petty. If you get them to essentially destroy themselves, someone can be an opportunist and take advantage. Hence, if they make them fight each other, ruin each other's business and such, and fall into decay and ruin, then someone else can sneak in, make profit out of it.
They're like an invasive species.
That's way worse. Wow.
Yes, that's...
The extent of cruelty, human cruelty, knows no bounds.
Okay, well, I left proof of contamination with the doctor nurse person at the tent outside the shawl.
Yes. What did you uncover in your travels?
There are lots of deader than dead, old dead bodies and blankets and things that aren't from here that definitely brought the disease. That's all.
There's
No
only
big
been
deal.
a few deaths. How,
No.
With you,
A whole mountain of bodies. Much bigger when you're a mouse too.
mountain.
You were a mouse?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
How long have
Yes.
they been dead?
Let's chat with you sometime about how that whole thing works. But did you say mountains?
Weeks. Yes. I think in human size, the body, it's like a pile, maybe like one human tall, maybe a little bit bigger, but there's dead bodies in the multiple form in the chalk.
And the people in the medical tents out front don't know this.
Well,
Oh.
at least one does now. I gave them proof of the blanket, and they were very nonchalant about it. I really wish they understood what exactly was going on.
Do the
And then
guards know?
No, I didn't. They wanted to tell the guards, and I told her not to.
Is
Aubrey,
it possible
this is
that
the information you need?
Repeat a little.
Aubrey,
Say what?
is this the information you need?
It's among several bits of information that I need that I would have liked to have had much earlier. That's not your fault.
Our friend got here as
You
quickly
have now.
as they could.
I did.
I understand. I know that's not their fault. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree. Wonderful, delightful. Oh, mountains. Oh.
Aubrey, do you need another nap?
No. I just.
Do you need a snack?
It's just urgent, right? Like much more
yes.
accelerated than we thought, because that wasn't the first dead body. There are dead bodies.
And we're sure that it was the disease and not that they were, well, stabbed, basically.
They're covered in blankets that are not from here, and the blankets have scabs that are weeks old.
Gross.
Wait, we
Disgusting.
found blankets, didn't we? I look at like Aubrey and Madura.
Well,
You
we
found
didn't, I
empty
don't know.
They were-
crates.
I don't know if we found blankets, but we did find at least news. Madura was able to find information that whatever this group is becoming involved in the situation, advised their own people to use their own blankets, which, given the context, if nothing else, is suspect.
There we go. More proof. What do we do with it?
Take it to the prince.
Straight to the prince.
Can we take it to the prince?
Okay.
But you have to go get the piece from, like, I left it at the tent and the doctor. Don't we need that? And
Okay.
No.
If you...
We will simply bring the prince to this problem and he will resolve it.
since when has a prince ever went to the problem?
Yeah, exactly. That was going to be my point.
Well, he will not be able to ignore the gravity of this situation.
Okay.
You already ignored the
I have
gravity
an
of the
idea.
situation.
I have an idea. You can turn back into a mouse and go find it. Go find the blankets again.
I could ride my new friend who totally didn't eat me in mouse form. And I stare pointedly at Syad.
Oh, Sayat, yeah, you could. And can you turn into something big enough to bring the blankets out?
I mean,
Wait,
no one
what
has
am
seen
I
it, but I
doing
can
now?
totally turn into a tiger.
Wait, what am I doing now?
Is that Syad?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you could guard
We're on a mission.
Karuna.
Syad.
and do a blanket heist.
If these people
It's hunting a
I
blanket.
don't like blankets.
No, you wouldn't be near the blanket. You would be watching Karuna, who would be near the blankets.
I nearly died being smothered in blankets.
That was a
no, I'm
clean
sorry.
clothesline. No, they didn't die. It was just a little scary, a little tangled. That's all.
I
Just
was
a
in
ruffled feathers.
I was enrobed in a clothes prison.
Yes, you do
I'm
not
so
belong in
sorry.
clothes. Okay, so wait, you want me to bring more than just the little scrap of cloth I got? You want me to bring a whole ass blanket out of there?
Or like another piece.
I
I
don't
don't
like
know.
ass blankets.
No,
Nobody
me neither.
does.
Are we to believe that you would prefer to take only a half-ass blanket in that case? What is the
Oh,
problem?
Point of
Okay.
order, we're only getting half this conversation,
Yeah.
by the way. The other half is a bird. So it's just like a bird sitting there and then two people talking to the bird.
I look at Aubrey, since Aubrey seems to be very knowledgeable in what is needed for proof. Do you need more than like a mouse-sized version of the blanket?
I mean, at this.
I mean, I could definitely tell it was from like far east.
Is it perhaps that we are slightly overcomplicating this problem and we simply return to your friends at the tent and get the scrap you already
That's
acquired?
what I said from the beginning. And then you're like, no, bring the prince over.
We should stop at the anchor
That
on
was-
the way and let them know their dancer is safe.
Yes.
So no
then
ass
start there.
blankets?
And
No
then we
ass
should-
blankets.
Okay.
Ass blankets.
and
Don't
then we
worry
should
about it.
Turn to the medical tent.
Yes.
Be a bird thing.
Well, let us sneak front. Our point of course of action. Warn the Global Heart, or wait, the Anchor Khan about the situation with the dancer. Go to the tent. Once we are to the tent and we have the blanket, then we will figure out what to do from there. Let's just start with those two so that we are moving forward.
Yes.
Yes. Expediency. Haste. Wonderful.
I'm not stopping anyone from moving. In fact, I will gladly push this gentleman wherever you wish.
Oh, sorry. Is my audio coming through?
Yeah, sometimes you are.
That's weird.
Maybe when
You're
you're
just
talking
very, very
softly.
quiet.
Yeah, you're a bit
Oh,
quiet.
That's okay. Can people hear me better right here?
Yes.
A little bit.
Curse you, microphone. Why do you not pick up things?
You gotta get all up on him.
You have to understand, this microphone, for those of our viewers,
It's
is
so beautiful.
sitting in
Much
a cup
better.
because I have no stand. Hello.
I love it.
Get me
Reporting
back from the
live.
stream. We're gonna
Everything talk show
be doing
host
this.
in one.
Dumb.
I mean,
We gotta hook you up.
yes.
Yeah.
You sound fantastic now, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. Now I know that the problem is that I wasn't doing a talk show host thing for the entire time I've ever been streaming. Fuck me. Anyways, continuing. Expediency, haste, and while we're heading over towards the... Because it's Ankarkhan, right?
Yeah, the Angurkana is actually on the way before the medical tent. In terms of like
Brilliant.
direct path.
Really?
Okay.
Because you're in the same district essentially, so it's just a couple of buildings away.
Okay, then I imagine that's where we head off to. And the entire time we are heading off over there, Aubrey is like trying to politely, but probably not knowing the best way to ask it, talking to Karuna and being like, so different shapes? Is it limited by willpower? Do you do it only a certain amount of times a day? Is it do you have to see the creature and then remember it? Or what is...
All of the above. Sometimes I can commune with a creature, like I was going to with Syad to like duplicate the presence. But you know, it's I don't like to be flashy about it. I don't want to use it just for using its sake. But yes, I can turn into animals that I find a connection to.
Delightful. We'll need to think more on this and other questions to ask you while we're heading over, because I also don't want to take up stream time too much with... I'm just imagining this is
And-
Aubrey the entire time. She's going back and forth between panic, stress, and also like, you are
Taking
genuinely
field notes.
fascinating.
So you all reach the Angurkana and you see that the dancer that you had rescued is sitting down at sort of the patron's table and is conversing quite hurriedly with the owner of the Angurkana. And as you sort of turn the corner and she spies you, she sort of points at all of you, speaks to the owner, and the owner sort of smiles and calls all of you over and says, I hear you have done the Angurkana service. Thank you, friends. Whatever you need for today is on me and on the house.
We need an audience with the prince. I don't suppose you know how to make that happen.
I used
I
to
just
know.
like just holding on to this other person while this is going on, by the way.
Yeah, it sort of looks and it's like, well, I used to have the prince's ear, but I think Asfendir already told you I don't anymore. I could maybe stow this person for the time being if you if you need to make inquiries.
Well, it'd be a lot more useful than hauling him around everywhere.
I mean,
It
I'm
is
not
true.
keen to let him out of our sight, but
Yeah.
As you wish.
if you can, you have to understand. You will have to keep this individual from killing themselves as well.
Oh, that can be arranged. Take them to the leather room. And the bouncers both grab the person and haul them up the stairs.
Kink, a literal lifesaver.
I'm guessing that's not a room where they dance in.
Sometimes.
It depends
Briefly.
on your definition of dancing.
Oh, I don't know anymore.
If you're worried it involves sex, it does not always.
Okay.
But sometimes.
But sometimes, yes.
I thought you were supposed to be the gullible one.
What?
Nothing.
Shadiness.
So much tea has been spilt. Or what is
Then
it?
I fetch a towel.
So where are you going next as your prisoner has been stowed away?
Whew.
Straight to medical, right?
Medical tent.
Yes, back to
Yeah.
the medical tent.
Medical
to get
tent.
our-
Okay.
to get our
Just making
evidence.
sure in case there was anywhere. So you head to the medical tent.
I want a chicken lollipop right now.
We'll send you
Welcome
to
to
the
Lily
medical tent
hankering.
regardless.
I watched that episode and I still have that description in my head. It's never left.
Greasy.
But the real one looks delicious.
Oh, yeah, the real one looks great.
Yeah.
My name Murgy.
Nope.
Go and
Nope.
enjoy my chicken.
Nope. Nope. I'm gonna go find one of those cyanide capsules now. Thank you. I'm done.
Control Z.
So you head over to the medical tent where you see there is now a couple of people grouped over one area of the lab and sort of talking in hushed tones and quite excitedly. And as you all enter, you see people are rushing in various directions. Who do you go up to?
I don't know if I ever named them, but straight up to the person I gave the blanket to. I'm like, it's clearly over there.
When there's no name, I will just say that they have the name of the goddess that they are serving, which is Kinar. So you just call them Kinar.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm walking up to like all of them and like trying to peek over her shoulder. I'm like, did you find it? Do you understand now why this was so urgent?
And she's just like sort of like shoo. And then it's like, Aubrey, how wonderful of you to join us after taking a leisurely stroll through the city.
Like, Aubrey like goes to her pack, pulls out a notebook, and you see like 25 pages worth of notes about the entire situation that's happened. Mind you, no one has noticed she's done this, but somehow throughout this entire process, there are 25 pages. Yes, leisurely.
Yeah,
I'm certain you've
tell them.
accomplished very much in the time I've been gone. I'm sure you've found something as well. I'm
I'm
sorry.
like cheering behind Aubrey. I'm like, yeah.
It's like, are we going to continue with the passive aggression, or are we actually going to accomplish something today?
You can put your claws back in and see what your companion has brought. Something new to the Cobalt Box, as we like to call it.
Fascinating. Let me see.
I don't know how good of a medical person you are. She doesn't have claws. She has fingernails.
It's a metaphor. It's when one speaks using a comparison of two things.
Yes,
that
Aubrey,
are
but
not-
you can understand our confusion here. Karuna can literally turn into animals.
This is fair, though. You didn't mention the claws. part.
First, we must
I'm
stop
getting
this
distracted.
disease.
Yes. Getting distracted.
And
Disease.
if
If I
to
was
your
correct.
question, yes.
Right? I'm like,
good.
yeah, absolutely.
And you do you look at the sample?
Yes. is there is I don't know if we ever actually got to follow up with it. I'm drawing a blank as to the vial that I had previously. That
You
we
have
also
not
picked up.
had
Oh,
time
yeah.
yet to actually investigate it.
Can I pass that while I'm investigating this and taking a look at this particular like piece of the potential plague and pass it along to them to like be like, do you have any sense of what this is while I'm working on this?
Who are you
Fran
passing
follows the vial.
Who are you passing it on to? The vial specifically.
Is there Kinar, you said, is nearby, right?
Yeah.
I'll pass it to them because this Aubrey goes into like full on like worker focus mode, like just trying to pay attention to things and just sort of gestures in the direction of Karuna. It's like this one indicated they trust Kinar. I will trust their judgment. Please take this to Kinar and see what they can find about it.
Okay.
Does that count as a magic item?
Which?
The vial?
Uh.
Or is that more because the rules is written? I think Dungeon World wants you to use that for like this is a magic sword, this is a flute that has a spell. But the disease we determined has some kind of like magical element.
Yeah, there's
It's been
definitely
enhanced magically.
It's been
Yeah.
enhanced when you use
Oh,
your
right, boost.
when you use your detect magic. You certainly detected some magical essence. However, it's not like a magical curse or a hex or anything.
Right. Cool.
So if you would like to detect it, you certainly can.
I'm just asking because I have a move, Enchanter from Wizard.
Okay.
Which is when you have time and safety with a magic item, you may ask the GM what it does. The GM will answer you truthfully. But if it's just been magically boosted and it's already like a natural disease or like an organic compound in the vial, then I don't think it works.
I'm gonna say for this process it is because there is some magic involved. So if you would like to use that move, you certainly can.
Oh, okay. Sure. I would like to assist in the examination and use the move.
All right. So this is essentially a immunization shot against it. Like it's basically if you already have the Cobalt box, it will definitely help cure it. If you've never had it, then you can never get sick from it. It won't cure you like overnight, but it certainly will sort of start to turn the tide for you.
Hashtag vaccinate your kids.
Yeah. That one.
Yes. So this is one dose of that. It's enough for one human person or humanoid to take and cover you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Madura learned a little bit about brewing and things like that from Kieran way back in the day.
Yes.
And is used to kind of looking at properties and like doesn't know everything, but knows enough to like piece things together. So working with the local physicians, like cross references of this thing and this thing, kind of pieces the whole picture together, and comes back to everyone and says, well, it appears the vial is both prevention and cure rather than the disease itself.
Cure. Potentially. I need it.
Where did you get the vial? Are there more vials?
There are more vials over in the tent.
I need it.
Yes,
I need the vial right now.
Oh, it is not mine to give, Aubrey.
I have the sample. I'm keeping it safe now that we know what it is. This is a question directed to the GM. Given my base of knowledge, would I have any sense of like reverse engineering said substance based off of the one vial?
You can do it as a ritual.
As a ritual.
Ooh.
So to make one, does a ritual have a time component to it?
Does if you say it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Check out the rule, but basically the short version is the wizard says they want to do something, and then you tell them what it takes. Okay.
It takes about to make one dose. It takes about 6 hours, and as as you have enough ingredients, you can get more efficient and produce more in those 6 hours. But to reverse engineer it the first time to be able to learn how to make it, it will take you 6 hours. You're okay there.
Ephron.
I need it. I need it right now.
I know. I promise you I will get you a sample of this as soon as I can.
You can get me a sample right now. You just have to bring it right back.
Do you want more people to end up like Dashti?
I want Dashti to be well. I don't want Dashti to be like Dashti.
Dashti is only going to be the first of many, and I promise you this will get worse if we're not able to take care of this and make more of it.
There's more in the tent, but I need this one for Dashti. You must give it to me.
If we give this up right now, we have no guarantee we were going to be able to get more of them from the tent.
I am going to look in Aubrey's eyes, and I would like to use Flames of Desire,
Sleep.
please. You bastard!
We're going to try and cast
Okay.
Oh. And technically, it's still up to, this is just her panicking. But it's still going to be up to the GM's choice no matter what happens. If the spell happens.
Okay, so I think what I will do is I feel like it's like an opposed roll of sorts, like a defy danger.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like a defy danger to see who goes first.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. So both of you roll defy danger with the stat needed to do what you are going to do.
Mine just happens.
Yep.
So do I
It does.
pick a stat?
Yeah,
Or
I would say
Doesn't a lot of the immolator stuff pop off of, is it wisdom, I believe?
it's usually
yeah, wisdom's the main spell
Because
casting.
that's how you get your burning brand, right? So you could say that's where your flame
Intelligence
stuff comes
for burning brand.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been I've never actually played an immolator. I've just run them a bunch, so I can't remember which one goes to which, but
That's a 10.
that's yours is a 10 and
No.
12.
Later gets it off first.
Whoa.
all right, so you get to do your thing before sleep happens.
All right, so the details of this one, when you gaze into someone's eyes, you can ask what fuels the flames of your desire. They will answer honestly, even if the character does not know or would otherwise keep it hidden.
All right.
Okay, so you asked that question. So you asked that question of Aubrey?
Mm-hmm. What fuels the flames of your desire?
I am concerned with the accumulation of knowledge above everything else. Protecting people and all of these other things are secondary to that. It is only under my best interest to protect people in order to get more knowledge to make sure more people can be protected.
Do I have
That is
time
all
to
my only concern.
Do I have time to reply before I sleep?
Well,
I guess it depends on the result of the cast a spell move.
Well, the
yeah.
cast the spell move was an 8, so I will choose to forget the spell.
Okay.
unless, and I need to ask the GM this,
Yeah.
Yes,
can I interfere
I would say
Yes.
that's fair.
after the fact?
Yes, you can interfere.
I would very much like to roll to interfere, Aubrey.
All right.
Which would be just the form of me like, Aubrey, what's your spellcasting look like again? It's like it's potions.
It's a bunch of like vials and such that she's like unclinking.
Potion bombs.
It's essentially potion bombs.
So the moment you go to reach for one of those potions, like my hand like flashes out to grab your arm, and then I roll 8 or interfere. Plus my bond with. Oh, I don't have a bond with you, do I? That's right, I don't.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
This is just a straight roll.
Oh.
Now we're playing some
terrible.
fucking Dungeon World.
So I rolled a hot snake eyes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I have no idea what happens, but it's not great.
No. Okay, so you forget the spell and roll your sleep dice. This is gonna be interesting.
I've just met these people. I don't understand. Just
Oh
Okay,
no.
so Aubrey, you, Ifran, Sharmila, and Kinar just go.
oh, just
So wait. No, I need this narrated. How does that happen? Then? Is it just that you like drop the vial to the floor? Like what happens?
Yeah.
I think it's a conflux of different things that happen where I'm like Ifran says that and I'm just like at the same moment like I'm putting up my hand and like right as Ifran says that I just press a button that normally is supposed to eject the thing into my hand, but because I'm panicking,
Oh.
it ejects into me and it sprays out on all of us.
So who's awake right now? It's just me and
Mother, Karuna, and Yasmin.
Yeah.
Oh no, that. Oh why? Oh.
And with that I think that
really
is a
bad.
good place to take a break.
Oh,
And we will be right back.
Okay, bye.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
after a quick bio break, and we are back to the capers of politics and plagues. First of all, a big shout out to our season sponsor, Roll20. Yeah, so a spell got triggered called Sleep, which accidentally struck Aubrey, Ifran, Shermilla, and a random Kinar healer in the tent. What do the non-sleepers do as this happens?
Just what? Why?
Tensions are quite high, and to be honest, I do not know what is right
prior
to do.
to the sleeping.
That's what I'm like. Wait.
That is a good question.
I think Aubrey still has it, right?
I think Aubrey had it.
Well, I had it in my compartments. I hadn't started to go for it. Efron was just starting to eye it
Although, did you pass it off to Madur because he had to examine it with the doctor?
Yeah. Madur would have it. Madur would be the one because you were probably if I was doing the main bout of breaking down the components, you and other folks were probably doing the analysis. So you probably had it last.
So I had it. I think the way that went down was I had it and I was giving it. In the process of giving it back to Aubrey, Ifron comes in and is like, give me this thing. You wrestle, and then everyone falls asleep. So I think I'm holding it still.
How instant is the sleep? Are you guys literally just plunked to the floor? Because I would have tried to react to catch at least someone.
I'm gonna say, for the sake of not worrying about cracking some skulls and things, that they just sort of crumple to the ground.
Okay.
Without hurting themselves.
Did you see the look in Ifran's eyes? Am I missing something?
Ifran has a daughter.
Oh.
Sick.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, then why didn't we just give him the vial?
Well, I believe Aubrey's intent was to attempt to create more of the vaccine. It would require us not to try and steal more from the tent. But it is true that there is likely more of the medicine with the secondary.
We have all the proof we need to realize that they're bad, and it's not like we would be incriminated. I would march up there as I needed. There are people dying right now.
I understand that. I imagine that if we were to give the medicine to Dashti, we would be able to acquire more and heal the sick. It is a matter of scope and scale. Yes, we save one life now with the potential to save others later.
But if
I would march right now into the tent if there are vials now, because who knows how long it'll take for these medical folk to make more of these vials.
But we do know they can make more, right? And if they can
sleeping, twitching.
Yeah.
Sleeping and twitching.
Is Aubrey still doing the twitching?
Yeah. Like especially if we all crumpled relatively near each other, some of the movements, if I think Ifran's next to me, I'm just gonna assume in my dreams that it's paper that I'm writing on. So I'm just making rotation on Ifran's head.
Well, point of order. Isn't Ifran always slightly on fire?
Yeah, because that's what makes it better.
Roasty.
Only my hair. The rest of me is just very hot.
But okay, so if it was me that was sick, I wouldn't want to be the first one healed if it would mean that other people would have to wait longer. Even if it meant I would die, I would want everyone to be healed.
How old is this daughter? Ifran is Sharmila's friend, right? We're all friends. We should be figuring this out.
Mother and Yasmin, were at the bed, so you know where the bed is. If you want to point it out. I will say that as you were all discussing these, a couple, like 2 or 3 healers are like, what happened to them? Are they sick? Oh no! Everybody evacuate the place!
Oh, no.
I think at that we're gonna wake up because that's
you're
probably
gonna
a
start.
loud
All of
yell.
you are gonna come too.
They're not sick. They're not sick.
Evacuate! Containment field!
No, don't evacuate, don't evacuate. We're not
yelling.
Oof, that's
Okay.
a fighter voice.
Does my horse still have the vial out?
I've like been holding it. So yeah, I think it's probably still visible because we're just like gesticulating like, well, this thing. Bah, 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 bah.
I wake up and I immediately try and steal it to go and give it to Dashti.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm gonna try and I think, would a defend work here?
Well, so it depends because either it could be an interfere, depending
Shoot,
on.
I meant to click on stand in defense of a person, item, or location under attack. I don't know if it's really under attack.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on how Efron is going about this. If there's some manner of subterfuge, it's a very different thing.
I was gonna ask, are you just straight up grabbing it and booking it, or are you trying to like sort of sleight of hand? Like, how are you doing it?
Straight up grabbing it and booking it.
All right. I think that would just be a defy danger strength.
Okay.
And in that case, you could roll to aid or interfere by doing something to interfere with Efron.
Yes. So,
Efron is not strong, family.
so before you roll your defy danger, the person who is seeking to aid or interfere goes first to see if they successfully do. How are you? I assume you are trying. What are you trying to do? Yasmin, I think you were the one who. Was...
I am okay. I'm going to try to block, like physically, because I'm very tall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to try to, throw my arms out and step in front. Yeah, basketball style.
Okay, so then roll your aid or interfere with bond if you have a bond with Efron.
I do not.
All right, then it's just straight up roll.
Roll damn bones.
For which strength?
No, just straight up, just a 2d6.
Oh, okay.
If you click on aid or interfere, it should ask you, and you just scroll down to where it says other, and then it'll roll.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay,
9.
so you do get to interfere, but you also expose yourself to danger. Not nutrition. I'm reading.
Retribution or cost. She doesn't get a snack. Unless it's a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah,
okay.
danger. I guess.
All right. So roll your defy danger strength with -2.
So with -2, that is a 6.
So that is a fail. So
what I think Madur would do in response is like, Yasmin's like, hey, wait, moving around, trying to block. Efron like comes in, maybe pushes and like grabs the vial. But Madur, I think, like, Madur's not strong either, but Efron's like groggy from being slept, and so Madur like can take advantage of that a little bit. He grabs and he just holds Efron's hand over the vial and holds it in place, and he says, my friend, we do not know each other well, but this, I can tell, is painful to you. I have never had children of my own, and I cannot imagine the sort of pain you're under. I understand that Aubrey wishes to make more of this to cure others, but your child is very ill and may not. We do not know how quickly the disease spreads, and so it is possible that the worst of it will come before we have time to make more of this. what I shall do is remove my hands right now, and I will let you do with this as you will, at the cost of the ire of those who do not agree with my choice. But I believe with proof and with effort, we will be able to recover as much medicine as necessary from those who have done this, and we will make them give it to those who are ill. Is that amenable to you?
I swear that once Dashti as well, I will spend my entire life getting more of this cure. If that is what it takes.
Your fire burns hot. I hope that it burns hot enough to consume those who have done wrong, to those who can't protect themselves. And Madur, let's go.
All right, you have the vial.
I run to the far side of the tent and give it to Dashti.
Aubrey looks like she wants to just...
I draw my sword.
Oh gosh.
No. And I look at Aubrey, and I will find you more. And I leave the tent.
Ooh.
Okay, we will get to you in a bit, Sharmila. So, Ifran, you open Dashti's mouth, which is quite weak, deep sleep, and you manage to get Dashti to drink most of it. You don't see any immediate change, but from what you've been, from nursing and being around, you know that such changes are not immediate anyway. You need to check in a while, in an hour or two.
I take the bird that I've been sculpting this entire time that we've been walking, and I place it in Dashti's hand. And I say to her, I have helped you, and I have sworn I will help others. I'll be back. And I just kiss her hand and head back to find Sharmila.
Okay, as Sharmila leaves the tent, do any of you follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Before your friends catch up with you, Sharmila, where are you going and what are you doing as you storm out of the tent?
Okay, so what I'm doing is unslinging the shield from my back and readying it on my left arm. And where I'm going is to the tent that was the secret barracks that they claimed was just
the secondary
habitation.
Merchant tent?
Sure. I'm going there.
Okay. After about 5 minutes of strapping it on and everything, you see your friends trailing behind.
I am marching just to this place, single-minded, laser-focused.
And Ifran, you see where Sharmila and your friends are heading towards. Do any of you catch up or just follow silently, or what do you do as you follow?
I'm running. I need to... Yeah, I need to... First of all, not let her go in alone, and second, make sure that we have some of that antidote.
And if you run, you'll definitely catch up with me, because Sharmila is moving with purpose, but she's walking. She's not overexerting herself.
And Aubrey and Karuna, I don't recall if you were following or if you were hanging out.
No. Aubrey would have, when she woken up, and I think she would have woken up in time to hear Madur speak to Ifran, and Aubrey would have followed after Ifran immediately, and probably Ifran by the time you turn around to start heading back.
I have something to say then. Now you get to find out what happens when someone is cured.
Ifran, I acted out of panic and not of logic. and out of care for you as my friend, or at least someone I care about. And that was a mistake. It does not get us information, and it does, more than importantly, it does not care for who you care about more. Just out of the tent.
Crying. Funny.
And she will like start to like want to do like a shoulder pat, but then she like halfway through is like, probably bad idea, and she'll just say, let's go get more. I was wrong. And let us not say anything else of this. I was wrong.
Fine by me. And Ifron just stalks out after Sharmila.
And Karuna, baby druid, how are you doing?
I was like skittering after Ifron, and I see Aubrey coming out, and I hear the conversation, and I'm like, I just met you.
Karuna, cut your losses. Just get away from these psychopaths. Just go.
I'm skittering after them. I like look over the bedside of this, I assume, small, frail child, and I'm like,
it's not child, like, yeah, woman.
Woman. Yeah.
oh, okay. So like your elder father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's either or, then it would be like another person. Okay, good. I'm going to skitter after them, but I will be the last to show up.
Yep. Since Sharmila's going with purpose but not at great speed, you can all sort of hustle to catch up. And you make your way to the secondary tent. It is now definitely after sunset, and there's now 4 guards in front, and from what you can hear just a little bit, it sounds like there's activity in the tent, which means all the occupants are definitely in now. And the 4 guards look at all of you, and one of them is like, oh, I guess you decided to come back later.
You have a cure to the plague. You will surrender it, and I will leave with it, or I will leave with your heads.
They about to open their mouth to say something. And then just the 2 guards that look like a little more senior, a little more, they're like, no. And the one guard who was going to get you, like basically the one you had charmed initially, was just like, 1 moment, please. And ducks into the
Move
den.
swiftly.
And the other 3 guards now are just looking at you, Sharmila, and sizing you up, sizing the rest of you. And are just...
Are we all there now?
Yeah, you're all there.
Yeah. Aubrey, how tall are you?
Probably not very tall. Like, she is like 5'1" max. She's short. Like, she's very, very short. She's just a very short, stressed out elf.
Okay, I imagine short, stressed out. I'm like standing right next to you, and I like lean over, and I'm like, can you make that happen on purpose to people you want to sleep? I don't want to kill anyone.
I don't either.
I don't want Sharmila to kill anyone.
I would prefer to avoid that as well. Unfortunately, that was the last vial I had.
Okay.
Oh,
Out
but my
of
friend.
character, I forgot the spell.
So I hear that, and I look over and I say, my friend, it appears we have studied similar trade secrets. If push comes to shove, we shall see what comes of it. And Madura like wiggles his fingers a little bit.
My wonderful elephant folk friend, you are a fascinating person. If we live through this, please let me hear of your tales.
My friend, if we live through this, it is I who will be telling the tale of all that you have done to help the people of Firdaus.
I've done nothing to help. It's just information. Now give me that credit. And what is Sharmila doing in this instant? Are you still waiting in this time?
Oh, as these gentlemen are sizing me up, I am looking each of them dead in the eyes.
Okay.
And at some point, we'll say, like, if this continues at a extended period of time, because again, I've got the shield out and Moonsong is in my other fucking hand, just like waiting and ready to go, like lowered but out. And at some point, if this goes on for a while, I will say to them, "You will not kill me. If you do not wish to die, I would depart or meet my demands."
And they're just giving you a death glare for like 5 minutes.
I will lock eyes with these people. Like, insofar as you can lock eyes with like 3 different men, but like,
Yeah. And after 10 minutes, you hear rustling from inside as if someone's approaching.
10 minutes, Jesus.
Yeah, it's.
I'll say Ifron has come up and put a hand on your shoulder, Sharmila, to say we can wait for a moment longer.
Okay, then in that case, I don't do anything.
I have enough time to try and cast another spell.
If you want to cast it, you certainly can.
Dangerous GM response.
You can certainly try.
2d6 plus int.
What are you casting?
I promise this is a helpful spell.
Karuna's like at this point stepping back from Aubrey, and at the
That's a 12.
Yeah, it casts without a hitch. What are you casting?
So you'll see her just pull out this is a very tiny one from like one of the smallest bracelets that's right at her wrist. It's almost to the point of like being like the size of a breath mint, but she pops it in her mouth and she begins speaking out to the air. She's just talking like normally, but there's this faint little thin line where the words are happening. That's almost like if you had music notes becoming like real to reach out to spirits in the area, and she is going to cast Contact Spirits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which spirit do you wish to contact, or at least a gist of it, and I can work with you on what that is.
The water's far too far away to actually be seeing the tent.
You can
right
from any point in the lower district in the city, you can see the lake. The lake is massive.
Okay. My question is there any threat we are not currently aware of in the vicinity?
Is that the question you're asking the spirit?
Spirit, earth, is it possible? Is there any sort of like earth spirit?
Yeah, definitely.
Closer to where the tent might be?
A spirit that is that has an affinity with Father Kush, which is the name of the mountain around this area.
I asked that one.
So you can feel the ground under you sort of wriggling, like rippling. Only you really feel it. You sense the presence below you. And it is curious to know what you want.
Is there what threats are we not aware of in the vicinity? As opposed to, is there a threat? Because I could just be a yes or a no. I'm asking which threats or what threats are in the vicinity that we are not aware of.
The tent before you contains many creatures that wish this land harm.
Wonderful. I pass on that information to Karuna, because Karuna, I feel like, is the most out of the loop of all of us regarding how bad the tent is.
Many? How many? I only saw like 4.
Many. We're gonna play this by ear, or knock out anything we can with hopefully not killing it.
Okay.
It is a barracks of sorts.
But hopefully, it didn't say wood.
Is there anything you are doing, or what are you up to?
Okay, so Yasmin is standing there trying to look, stern, but she's terrified, so her hands are shaking, and she's like, This is, I think, the first time she's ever probably fought actual people.
If you keep vibrating like this, my head's gonna spin.
You might want to take to the air. We might need you to help in a bit.
Okay.
And she's gonna let Syad, and she's gonna have her bow at the ready, and let's see. I think I can only do defend when. Can I only do defend when we're?
No. So you can, when you're standing in defense of something, you take hold that you can then spend down the line. Now, you can also like take defend and then immediately spend that hold, but you can stand in defense of something before something happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're like anticipating it happening, right?
You just need to tell me what you're defending so that I know like what you're defending against.
I am going to defend Aubrey because she is the one who can possibly help us most with the cure.
Okay. You may roll your defend.
I legit thought you were going to say, oh, okay.
Can I aid?
How are you aiding?
Pep talk.
Sure. What's the pep talk?
Okay. So Madhur sees Yasmin shaking, sees Syad fly off, and, like, watches the bird, and then just kind of leans over and puts a hand on Yasmin's shoulder while looking ahead and says, my young friend, I understand you have been an easy target for jokes in the past. And that has been unkind of me. I have taken undue pleasure in testing the limits of your local ways and humor. And I must tell you that the strength that is inside of you is far greater than any assault of words that I could assail you with, or any blade that will be drawn against you on this day or any in the future. And I wish that you, when it comes to it, will prove to us what that strength is.
Oh, man.
God, I hope you make this roll.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, so that 6 is a 7, which I believe is a hold 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a hold 1 when it matters.
Yeah. Yes.
You can spend it to any of those 3 things.
Yeah. And as this is all happening while those awkward, very long 10 minutes are passing, and the rustling opens, and you see someone in a very fancy, fine clothes, accompanied by the very sheepish guard that was that had said, "Oh, wait, I'll one moment," and goes in and is now following out, looking even more sheepish. And this fine, fancy gentleman says, "Yes, apparently you all came in this afternoon to purchase weapons, but decided to come to my..."
I will not repeat my request.
"And what request is that?" And then you sort of hear and whispers very gently, like, into the ear, and he's just listening. It's like, "Ah, I see. You seem to be under the impression that we have..."
Do not lie to me. Or you will not leave this place alive.
"I see. Local hooligans are now threatening diplomatic missions. This is what Firdos has become."
I had been holding my sword like low, like pointed towards the ground, and it is slowly raising.
Can I use Zuko style to make that sword on fire?
Yes, you may.
Whoa. Point of order, it's made of metal and I'm holding it.
Like fire that doesn't hurt my ally?
I'm vulnerable to fire.
Just the blade?
Oh, it would be the blade. The hilt.
Metal.
But wait, is the hilt also?
The hilt, yeah, shouldn't
Yes, it's a big metal sword. Like,
be. But like, why is your
wrapped in
hilt
leather?
metal?
Is the hilt
could-
wrapped?
Okay, can you
Hey.
tell me what Zuko style does before we continue
I
forward
love
with
that
this?
name.
So when you bend a flame to your will, you roll plus wisdom. On a 10 plus, it does as you command, taking shape and movement as you desire for as long as it has fuel to burn. On a 7 to 9, the effect is short-lived.
so you could definitely put it just on the blade of the sword and keep it there.
Yeah.
But it's made of metal and I'm holding it.
I'm gonna say you're holding maybe a leather guard or something, so...
Fire's very hot.
You could swirl it around the blade and
He
like
wants
not
you to
on
have
the
a
blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be on fire, y'all.
I'll do that. I'll do it in like a weird figure
Fire
eight
bad.
infinity pattern in like multiple color flames all around, assuming that this works.
Okay, yes, let's...
Yeah, see, that's the part I'm worried about. I won't stop you, but I don't want to die from fire.
I promise not to set you on fire, Sharmila.
You can't make that promise. I might very well get set on fire.
No,
Come on.
Hey,
Oh.
there you go.
Sorry, the first one was a 7, so it works, but the effect is short-lived, lasting only for a moment.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna say if you do make an attack, it'll work for your first attack, and then it'll just extinguish as you connect.
But in the meantime, you look fucking cool.
And as that happens, in response to you making the blade light up the night and look badass, the 4 guards now basically get into sort of a defensive position, and this fancy pants goes, I see. With all of you, it just goes straight into violence. How disappointing. Guards. And the guards will
Yeah, I don't even wait for this asshole to finish talking. I just move in.
All right. What are you doing, Sharmila?
Just wielding my blade with like deftness and ability, and whoever is in front of me is catching a face full of fire sword.
So it would
Just-
probably be the guards. So yeah, one of the guards will take that as they move in to defend their general.
As that's happening, I would like Madur to unsling one of the Bansuri flutes that he's carrying, and begin to sing the song of Sharmila that he had sung before meeting her.
Okay. If that's just like
Hey, I
for
remember that.
flavor, that's cool. That happens as you attack. So if you want to make a hack and slash, Sharmila.
I will do that very, very thing as you sing the song of Shannara. I mean, hack and slash. There it is. It's way up here. Kaboom. Hi. So I rolled a hard 14.
Yeah, you do.
You have to understand, I have a strength bonus of 2, and my cultural power thing, I just get +1 anytime I hack and slash. So, you know, +3 is nothing to sneeze at on a 2d6.
Yep.
So I will roll damage.
Roll damage,
oh.
please.
When you hack and slash, first I have to do this. When you hack and slash, choose an ally. Yasmin's ready to go. I choose you, Pika Rat Yasmin. The next attack. Oh wait, I'm sorry. The next attack against your target does +1 for damage. Sorry, I was looking at the text on setup strike. When you hack and slash, choose an ally. Oh, their next attack against your target does +1 damage.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like
flanking.
leaving them open for someone
Yes.
else to get
Okay.
attacked.
So yes, Yasmin will do an additional D4 damage if they also end up attacking like the guards or whatever.
Ooh.
So yeah, you. Speaking of doing a D4 damage, here's the rad thing about me is I also just always do an extra D4 of damage. So, what? Hang on, 4.
Just roll another d6 if it's not added.
No, it's added.
No, yeah, I rolled a 3 on my. So I roll a D10 and a D4, and I rolled a 3 on the D10 and a 1 on the D4.
So what I had been hoping to do is use the arcane art ability as part of that song, which lets me add a D4 to an ally's damage.
Oh.
Ooh.
Could that go off concurrently?
You know what? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So
take plus 1d4 forward.
Boom. I rolled it, so I did 8 damage.
There
That's
we go.
a little more in line. That's
There we
more
go.
like it.
with as you connect, the song hits like this really like important note, and you manage to kind of describe how you totally obliterate one guard.
That's the one. Okay. Then yeah, it's like I move in
that was
and
enough.
it was yes, no, 8 would kill anyone who isn't. Yeah. So yeah, it's like she moves like lightning, just like straight forward, like her shield up first, and the like is backlit by the fire behind her, and in one extremely fell swoop, true to her word, just immediately decapitates this guard. It's just a flash of flame, which I guess is then what puts the sword out, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But yes, and like any of that might transfer to his clothing, but the sword goes this way, the head goes the opposite direction, and the body slumps to the ground.
Yeah, the body is starting to smoke. Hasn't got flame yet, but who knows? We'll see. I'm
not even looking at that. I'm already looking at whoever my next target is gonna be.
And anyone else who hasn't already acted wants to do something.
How many guards are left up?
3 plus the general who is now going back into the tent.
Okay, I'm going to. I have my arrows prepped. I'm going to use volley with blot out the sun, so I can spend extra ammo before rolling.
And remember, if you hit, you get a D4 extra damage, and you're muted, Ifran.
So I'm going to try to hit those 3 guards. So I roll volley, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
10. So yay. So deal my damage. Where is?
Are you trying to hit all 3 of them?
Yes.
Holy crap.
It's such a good move.
It is.
Blot out the sun is very
cool.
good.
Blot out the
Yes.
sun is pretty good. So they each take that damage, correct?
Yeah. Where do I?
So damage is at like the top center. If you can see like where your
Plus.
armor and your hit points are, it's just to the left of your alignment and just to the right of your look. There's a you click on the word damage, it'll roll your damage.
So 5 each, and then I get another 1d4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because of my setup strike.
And how do I roll that here?
Just roll R 1d4. Like, just type it in the chat.
Do I need to like slash R
yes,
or whatever?
slash R.
There's
Okay.
also little buttons on the upper left-hand corner of the screen there.
Oh, yeah.
There's some little buttons in Roll20. The
that's
second to
right.
last one is also
Oh shoot!
a roll
There
button.
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anyway.
So with each guard taking 8 damage, please tell me how you blot out the sun and create 3 bodies.
Okay, so I see these guards, and Sharmila's already taken care of one. So I take aim, emboldened by Madur's pep talk and by Sharmila's action and the knowledge that, hey, we're here to do the right thing. I gotta act. I get my 3 arrows, I pull them back, take a breath, and let them fly. And the arrows zoom out to the 3 guards, just like, whoom, and just like through the throat.
Okay. And yeah, the general's gonna see what's happening and is almost through the tent flap and yells like, to men to me. And Karuna or whoever hasn't acted, or Aubrey, whoever hasn't acted yet, is there something you'd like to do?
So my original plan, I was already backing away from Aubrey, and I was going to slip around to the back side of a tent to see if there are any like cracks or entry points that a small creature could fit into.
Definitely. The tents are
Flaps.
basically, well, the tent is made out of like some sort of a canvas that's probably magicked because of the whole TARDIS effect. But
Oh, it's bigger on the inside?
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Much bigger. That's why when I said many, I wasn't kidding. Like many.
It's like a barracks and a war room, and yeah, there's a storehouse in there. It's like it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's the size of like a regular, I guess, camping tent for like 10 or something.
Sure.
But it has more than 10 people in there and stuff. But yeah, they're not like, there's definitely a flap you can get under as like a small creature.
Okay.
Is that what you're doing?
I mean, if need be, I don't feel bloodlusty enough to like be a war-torn tiger, but I do have that option if need be. But right now I'm just trying to sneak in and grab vials per chance.
Okay, so I will say that you can tell me what you're doing, and you're doing it.
Yeah, so like I would assume in just like this chunk of turn, I had enough time to like sneak to the backside of the tent and just slip in. Haven't really done anything inside the tent.
Yeah, as you do, you see the crates that your friends have pointed out, had mentioned, and even though this is a secondary tent, you notice that you see the same sort of silk fibers inside these crates, and it says aid, like sort of like you know, like how it's like, you know, free something, but it's written in poorly forged Eastern languages.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you get.
Okay.
Aubrey, are you doing anything? Are you watching the carnage?
This may be a slightly silly question, but actually it might be more of a question to Fox. Who knows more? Can healing potions for someone who's already been like knocked to 0 bring them back, or are they just like dead? That's just the state that they're in now.
I'm saying
I don't know how healing works
lethal force has been used, unless either of you have said you're knocking them out. Well, except for Sharmila clearly said, you know, chop a head off. I think it's hard to come back from missing a head.
So what I will say is that if you're asking for how rules as written work, when you hit 0 HP, you die. NPCs just fucking die. Yeah. PCs have a whole move for it.
Yeah, there's a whole last breath which we deal with. But yeah, they dead. They super dead.
That's what I figured.
Unless, and I'm gonna say this just up front, if you do enough damage and you say I would like to knock them out, then I will allow your bringing them to 0 as knocking them out. But if you didn't mention that, they did.
And I will just...
I'm here to kill these people.
And I will just prep a spell for... Well, I will try and cast a spell for the next person that comes in.
Alright, cast your spell.
Yep. She's now this time trying to pull out another vial. This one from like a back set of bracelets that she has. It's like, oh, I've really hoped I'd never had to use this. And then she just cracks it on her hands. I will say, draw unwelcome attention or put myself in a spot.
All right.
She cracks the vial, and it just looks like her whole hands got coated in like a very thick, almost like molasses-like material, but it seems to like float and drip through her fingers as easily as water. And you just see like almost like little icicle darts starting to form. And the first time, the next guard who comes, she's firing off magic missile at them.
All right. As you say that, you see.
Actually, can I propose something real quick?
Sure.
Yes.
Because there is still someone here who hasn't made his way back into the tent yet.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there, just as a reminder.
And I kind of wanted to see if I could use my burning brand to make like a net or like one of those
Ooh.
ball thingies with the strings.
Bolas,
like a
so like
yes.
2 balls on a string, and you
that
throw
thing.
it at someone's feet.
Okay, I was gonna
Ties 'em
say
up.
toy, but that makes more sense.
This is up to the GM, but I will say, as rules is written, that is outside the scope of Burning Brand, I believe.
Oh dang. Okay.
A Burning Brand is basically you just make a fire sword, is the short version.
Fire weapon.
That's between you and your GM. It says which tags you get access to is all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So
But you said there's still one person who hasn't made it in the tent, correct?
yeah, the general
The
guy.
general
Yeah.
person.
I was basically saying if you wanted to shoot that asshole in the back, he totally could.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
And I haven't moved yet.
Because I thought Miriam had just said that like he was already heading into the tent.
He's
and-
heading in.
Sorry,
Yeah.
And he was shouting
I'd
in.
assumed
Pop him
that
in
that
the
meant he's out of sight.
I haven't.
That was not how I read the scene. I could be
Yeah.
mistaken.
My mistake.
No, I could be wrong too.
Verification was needed.
Yeah. So yeah, if they're inside the
Magic
tent or
missile
outside the
cannon.
tent.
They are at the doorway of the tent, and as sort of everybody's had a chance to go, ducks in. Oh,
no.
do you? I thought you went by doing Burning Brand.
No, I said I would like to, but I've not rolled for it or anything.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So that hurts. And basically he turns around and flings a dagger at you. Yes, because as
Aubrey?
part of your danger to Aubrey. As just to resolve the magic missiles.
Okay.
And you take
Yasmin still has hold for defend, correct?
yes.
Yes.
You may now
Oh,
you don't take that damage, it's just that you take one of the dice. Okay, so Yasmin, if you want to use your hold, you may use it now.
Yes.
As the
do
dagger is heading towards with some deadly proficiency.
Okay. How do I?
So
You can either have the attacks affect or damage. You can open the attacker to an ally, giving that ally +1 forward against the attacker, or you can deal damage to the attacker equal to your level. Those are your 3 options. And then from there you figure out what their fiction is.
Yeah. So
I'm
Go
okay.
Chat says punch the dagger.
Chat says what?
Punch the
Just
dagger.
the dagger.
You can shoot it out of the air with your arrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to deal damage to the attacker.
all right. So what is your current level?
4.
Okay, so another arrow goes in, which I will start adding up the damage in a moment. I don't
Do
think
I
it's
need
enough.
to use ammo for that or no?
No.
No.
You only ever use ammo if a move tells you to.
Okay.
Yes.
much damage.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Aubrey, you take 7 damage as the
I should
dagger.
have that.
Well, too late now.
Yeah.
However, your arrow goes like deep into the shoulder. It's like, you pay for that. And that was to resolve what happened to the magic missiles. Now the brand before the general goes into the tent. Yes. Did you already roll your burning brand, or are you gonna roll that now?
I'll re-roll, or I'll roll it now.
Okay.
This guy's taking 9 damage. He's beefy.
Okay.
Putting
What a
some
beefy boy.
armor underneath that
Nine.
finery.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I look
so
posh and wonderful. Secretly has +2
Okay,
armor
choose
or something.
one tag.
Oh, my
Hammer
bad.
tag.
One of the tags you can take is fucking thrown or near. Yeah, you could. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I've never played an emulator, and I was all the way wrong. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Okay. Well, I want to make the bolo thing so that I can like
Yeah.
wrap him up and stuff. So I guess take the tag thrown.
Okay. So yeah, you make a fiery bola or bolo. Anyways, you make the whole ball and rope thingy and you toss it. So I think you roll your damage.
I roll my damage,
which is your class damage.
Oh shite.
That's unfortunate.
That's really unfortunate.
And it
is made out of fire though, and you didn't remove the dangerous tag, so it's still dangerous.
It is dangerous.
It's like fiery ball rope.
It is dangerous and singes their clothes. However, it bounces off harmlessly and falls down. It does do damage to the armor just a little, but you now see the fancy clothes. Under it is some really cool armor, leather.
That's why you gotta aim here. That's why you have to aim right here, people. Come on.
If so you know, a jeweler. This is not in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. So let me do some quick math here on the damage because I had the numbers on. Where did my pencil go? Ah, there it is.
Is it 10 so far, by the way, between the magic missiles, the arrow, and now this bola?
I'd like to shout out to Giga Jig for following us and also saying that they followed us because we punched a dagger, which was described as a genius move. So we need to apparently do more punching of daggers out of air.
All right. So at this point, the general.
It's Ebola, apparently.
Yeah, and it's Ebola. Not the disease, the weapon.
Bolo is that nerd tie for cowboys.
Yes.
Nerd tie for cowboys.
Nerd tie for cowboys.
I live in Austin and confirmed.
Yes. Live in Houston, also confirmed.
All right. So as the general sort of comes in, you see 4 more guards steam out. They look like they're kind of hurried. Like they were called and they barely had time to put on their armor. They look very green as they come out and they're like, very confused. Who would like to react now since everybody's had a turn?
I want to do more murders and make my way into, I'm trying to cut a swath and get into this tent.
Sure, hack and slash.
Push your way through.
Basically, yeah. It's if they're coming out, it's because Sharmilla's going in.
Yep.
Push
Wheat
him back.
for the
Push him back. Way back.
Sharmilla's not trapped in there with them. They're trapped in there with Sharmilla.
All right. So do your damage and.
I need to choose an ally. This time I choose Ifran. Next time you roll damage against, I guess, these guards or the guard I'm fighting, take an additional D4 if you want, because that's me. Now I roll damage, and they hurt me as well. So kapow! This is getting a little ridiculous at this point.
You do actually cut through one. However,
let me test something real quick. Okay, no, I am capable of rolling something besides a 4. Just had to make sure. Just had to make sure there wasn't a bug.
Okay, so with the 4, you cut down one of the green soldiers easily. And we can describe how that happens. However, as you do so, you also take 9 damage from the tree descending upon you.
Good God, these guys take the better of 2d8? Jesus. All right.
They've got some really nice weapons there.
Definitely.
Yes. You cut a swath. You're now near the tent flap, if you so choose.
Yes, I'm trying to get in the tent, so yeah.
All right. And who would like to act next?
How badly hurt are you, Aubrey?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. To borrow the wise words of one DD from my Agni campaign, on a scale of 16, I'm on a 9.
Yeah. I, for one, would like to use Arcane Art to sing a healing song.
All right.
So Madur rushes over to Aubrey and forget the flute for a second, begins like chanting a lullaby, a very soothing lullaby.
God damn those
so
rolls.
I have healing song, which means that when I heal with arcane art, I heal 2d8 damage instead of 1. So you are healed for 9. As Madur like repeats this very simple lullaby and like blows into his hand like a little golden dust, and then blows it onto your wounds, which start to like knit them together.
Okay, sorry. I know that you were singing a healing song, but I also remember our conversations earlier where someone mentioned something about like something root poison. So I suddenly have the fear that like you blew the whatever.
I have golden root you.
No, and I'm like, no, that's the wrong thing.
I don't want this healing.
To be fair, it was out of character. I was just letting you know that we had that option.
I just
always wary of anything.
Game, I lost track of what was happening for a second. I was like, wait, no, you mean healing. You mean healing.
All right, who's acting next? All right, Aubrey.
Can I blast whoever's coming right next up to Sharmila?
Yep.
Blast him.
Blast him.
Yeah, blast
Or at least I will try and blast him. That barely succeeds.
All right. You will take a wee amount of damage from that, or rather.
Yeah.
So
take
do
the
your spell.
Again.
Do your spell first, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see who remains to kill me. Oh, that's 8 damage. That's max damage.
Because I'm seeing that we have very little time, we're not going to go too much into detail, but smithereens. Which means there's only 2 more left. So you take 7.
I am back to where I started.
Who would like to act next, as Aubrey has been slinging magic missiles at guards coming in?
I'll use volley. And
right.
there's how many left?
2.
Okay, I'll use volley with blot out the sun, pull out 2 arrows, and try.
Welcome to the finale.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at cost.
You get to choose that between one of the costs.
Well, I'm already going to have to reduce my ammo, so.
Well, this would be an additional one. So instead of spending 1 ammo here, you would spend 2.
I'll spend 2. I will spend 2.
So roll your damage, and I believe you got the forward again from Sharmila?
No, I gave it to Ifran this time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Ifran,
So just
when
regular.
so just regular.
So they each take 5.
Yeah, bullseye yet again as the other 2 go down.
Woo!
Who would like to act next?
So all of this is going on outside. Are there any guards in the very back?
There's no one on the outside. Basically all the guards were in the front at the moment, and you think they might have been patrolling if you didn't all catch their attention, and now all of them are in front. You hear the sounds of carnage. You're not sure if it's your friends or the guards, however, they sound more guardly.
Can I take the aid box and tear a hole with a knife through their canvas? Inhuman.
Sorry, I don't quite understand. Are you trying to punch a hole with the aid box?
No. So I slipped in as a mouse, so I didn't have to deal sneak, right? And then there's an aid box, and I want to take
the aid box was on the outside
of the tent.
Yeah, it was just like garbage.
Oh,
sorry if that wasn't clear.
No, I'm just looking for the potions.
Those are probably inside.
Oh, okay. Then I go farther inside.
All right, you go in, and it seems you seem to be in some sort of ornate bedroom of some kind, maybe some general's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It is currently empty.
Okay. I'm scanning as quickly and frantically as possible.
And there's a tent flap to exit this room.
Okay.
You do not see anything currently of import. This just seems like to be sleeping quarters.
Well, heck. I'm going to search as many places sneakily as quickly as possible.
Okay, so you get through the flap and you see a war room that your friends had detailed to you. And
okay.
I'm hoping one of you mentioned where you found the vials.
Yeah, toads my goats. There's a slight.
Yes,
yeah.
It is definitely in this room.
Okay.
So I will say you eventually reach it. You currently, as you sort of you scurry up and you find the vials. Just as you're about to ponder what to do next, you see from the war room, there's 2 rooms where you hear a general sort of march in looking very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of yelling for men to come to his aid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see. Who wants to act next?
Just Ifran at this point, isn't it?
I think Ifran's the only one who hasn't actually added.
Yes, Ifran.
Yeah, I want to run into the tent. Do I see the general right away, or is he already in the next room?
As you follow behind Sharmila, and Sharmila has just gone through, you both see very clearly the general going through the flap that goes into the war room.
Can I go ahead and follow him?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I want to follow the general into the war room.
Okay, and I'm gonna say that at this point, with the action at the moment with the general, either Karuna, Sharmila, or Ifran can act first.
Fantastic. I'm going to go alleviate this man of his head.
All right.
The general.
Relieve. Yeah. I'm going to fucking kill this dude.
All right. Hack and slash that.
Because, like, Sharmila didn't break stride at any point. Like, as soon as, like, it's cut down the first guy, cut down the second guy, and she's been in motion the entire time.
Ruda, as you see this, you see the general, you see Sharmila, like laser focus, enter, ready to hack and slash.
I'm just picturing total Terminator walk.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining the whole time as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a hot 7.
Yep.
For the purposes of my setup strike, I just give it again to Ifran because Ifran's standing right there.
Yep.
Really, who else do I give it to? And then here's my damage. 9. 9's better than 4.
Yeah. That's enough. And I will let you have your victory, but you do take a little damage as the death.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Hack and slash is not like I swing my sword at you. Hack and slash is we have a fight. So this guy probably makes some pathetic attempt at it and tries to get like a blow in, and it's just like, yeah, I've got this shield, and you're gonna fucking die now.
You take 9 damage. As please tell me how you relieve him off his head.
Yeah, like it's that's the thing. It's just like I come in and it's he goes to swing at me and like I knock it away with the shield, and he comes to swing again, and I like pin the sword to the floor, and like he drops the sword and goes to, like, punch at me, and I just turn back and woof, right through him.
And Ifran, I will
Slow-mo shot.
I will say you come in, and just for the sake of, because we are running a little out of time, you take care of a couple of greenies that come in, look at you, and the friends behind him just are like, nope, and leave. And I will say, for the purposes, you do clear the tent of any hostiles. They either are dead or fleeing by the time you are all together inside. What do you do?
Grab the vials.
Yeah, I mean, like, as Sharmila was slicing ahead, decapitation is fine. I'm just like, I had the crate, and I'm trying not to drop the crate of vials. This extreme case of violence.
There are 12 vials.
Okay.
I look at Karuna and I say, take them to the tent so they can make more.
Absolutely.
Is there just the one crate?
That is
12 vials.
Yeah, that's the only crate. It seemed like those were like reserved for any new troops that may have needed to.
Got it.
And then as soon as they leave, I turn to Sharmila and I say, thank you. I'm going to burn this place to the fucking ground. And I set the tent on fire as we leave.
All right. There is absolute pandemonium, and the royal guard that is near the fence make their way to all of you. And
we have the proof we need, right? Like, we don't need any more proof, because
that's what I was thinking before people went to the burning of the
We
tent.
have the live guard already, and we have the crate, and we have
the documents.
We have documents. I think we're good.
Okay. Then I won't stop Ifran. I will flick the blood from my sword and make my way back out the tent.
Yasmin, I'm going to say, has been following Karuna with, as just in case somebody tries to follow them, as backup.
Hell yeah.
Aubrey's going, once she sees Karuna has the vial, she's like, all right, let's get going. And she's just like, funk.
Oh.
Oh.
And like she dabs at the wound left by the dagger, like licks it for a second. Huh. So that's what that tastes like.
And 2 spears.
Yeah, and pulls out a notebook and writes something as she's walking alongside Karuna going back.
I refuse to believe Aubrey has never tasted their own blood before.
I'm impressed that they have an open wound. They're like, I can keep writing, it's fine.
Oh no, she's screaming in pain the entire time, but it's like that level of like, yep.
The adrenaline makes it taste different.
Exactly.
Note to self, adrenaline has a funny flavor.
Actually.
Okay, story time. Wrap up.
Story time is after wrap up. Okay, so there's Team Vial heading over and delivering the vials. And then there are those that are setting the tent on fire. As the basically the inferno has begun, there is like a contingent of like 5 or 6 guards who are like royal guards who were coming from the Chal basically to investigate this inferno now happening, and petrified merchants that were near the tents that are like water and sand everywhere trying to make sure their tents don't catch on fire. And they stop you, Ifran and Sharmila. Are you also there?
Sure.
Are you Team Vile or Team Inferno?
I'm with Ifran. Like.
Okay, and Mother, where are you?
Probably still by the tent.
Okay.
Because I want to attend to Sharmila's wounds at some point.
Okay, so the 3 of you are stopped by the royal guard, and they're like, halt, what is the meaning of this?
We have a cure for the plague.
By cremating?
Do not waste my time. We have a cure for the plague. And I just like point at the crate full of bottles and stuff.
Those are already gone to the medical tent.
Oh, okay.
So they went behind.
Aubrey and Yasmin have headed off to the medical tent.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Yeah, sorry. That's why I was like, Team Inferno or Team Vile? And they're like,
then instead I produce that patch and just like hand it over to them. It's like,
so
my friends can tell you more.
So let me get this straight. You burnt a diplomatic mission and a foreign merchant tent?
I know, given the circumstances, this must seem like a lot to take in at once. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Madur, a humble merchant, and sometimes an investigator. My companions here Ifran, the fiery, and Sharmilla, bearer of the legendary blade Moonsong, have been investigating with several other of our compatriots the nature of this plague that is destroying your city, which I understand your people have been doing something about, but those with positions of power who are able to help have done shockingly little to do anything about it. Now, we have taken it upon ourselves, at the behest of the finest entertainment institutions in all of this region, the Gulbahar and the Ungar to do what we can to assist their people in the process uncovering a plot by our secondary visitors to claim their territory, destroy them, and replace them with their own. And they wish to enact that by distributing a disease, which I have seen your people placing people into the chal and refusing to feed them. Now, we have here a scrap of the uniforms proving the allegiance of these mercenaries to the secondary cause. I also have on my person, pulls out like the documents. I don't know how good your secondary is, but if you happen to take the time to translate this note, you will see orders given to attack citizens of Firdaus.
You can see the guard's eyes are glazing over.
Under the order of the commanding officer of the secondary delegation, as well as documents proving...
Okay.
Gotta
So
let him
clearly...
go on a long enough thread.
He just goes, right. So he's just like, shoves the documents. You can take these and do what you will with them, as long as they go to the prince.
And at this point, you see one of the more eager, like, younger guards like, so should I take all of these to the prince? And he's like, yes, take this to the prince, please. I have a headache. And hands everything and scratches a quick note and sends it off and says, you said something about... Wait, but how do you know? There's no army here. I mean, this
Not
batch
anymore.
doesn't clearly.
Fire crackles in the background.
But
Ifran just smiles a little bit. Like the kid in the
It just
movie.
looked like that picture of the little girl with the house on fire behind her.
And at this point, we cut to the vials being delivered, and I'm going to sort of hand wave just a little. With enough time, all the vials are it's reverse engineered to create more to give it to everyone available. There's only one more death before everyone is cured. Someone who was just too far gone. Eventually the fence is deconstructed because the quarantine is lifted, as everyone can be given the vials in about 48 hours, within 48 hours, as all the healers work nonstop to make all of this. And they all just collapse from exhaustion, and they're gonna rest for a couple of days. Meanwhile, you are all summoned to the prince's court, where you are allowed to give your testimonies and retrieve the stored person from the leather room. And
Forgot about that.
and the prince is pretty disturbed, but heeds your advice and decides to temporarily suspend all trading with the secondary until this is resolved. And as time goes by, it was said that it was a rogue agent and not the secondary government and trading resumes about a year from now once again. But in the meantime, you have all prevented a plague from happening, spreading to almost all of the lower city, and you have saved the city from a political scandal. As we go around, I want to sort of have a little epilogue of what would your character do in sort of the next couple of days or months. And we will go around first with our poor, tired healer, Aubrey. What do you think your character would do?
So, I feel like there's probably some point afterwards, like I'm gonna say like a few hours after like the inoculations and everything are passed out, the last death is confirmed and written out, and she probably just like writes as a last note in the book, like for this chapter, like she closes it and she's like, it's over, and then like passes out and sleeps for like a couple of days. But I imagine like when she wakes up, she immediately goes to Ephron and just sort of apologizes. And also, I didn't know if I assumed healing services weren't necessarily like a paid thing, but she promises to Ephron to watch over Dashti's sort of medical needs for as long as she requires it, and she will, for every day after that follows from the plague, will always say the same exact thing about why she does it. It will not be for the purposes of helping her. It's, I need to see the residual results of the plague on a body that has long recovered from it. It's for the betterment of knowledge for how a future case might happen. She probably does actually care and feels repentant about how she acted during this, but she's never going to say that.
Ephron, Dashti does recover. Takes a while. Mainly exhaustion is what she needs to recover from, but she recovers in a couple of days.
I spend those days nursing her and everyone else in that tent. Aubrey comes in to help out, and Ephron does not forgive her. Ephron, it's going to take longer than a couple of days for that flame to die down, basically. Yeah, that's kind of what I got. I'd say he keeps crafting more little birds because they're Dashti's favorites, so that she always has something to keep looking at as she's recovering. Yeah.
And now to Ephron's old friend, Sharmilla.
So, shortly after that all went down, like I would have made an immediate point of going and finding Yasmin and just like putting my hand on her shoulder and just saying, what we did today is not something to be proud of, but you did well. And you know, after that, like I would have spent a fair bit of time with Ephron, like watching to make sure his daughter was okay once she was like talking, like catching up with her. And talking like, hey, hi, how's it going? Hope you're okay. Sorry about the disease. That seems like it sucked for you. And you know, just kind of telling Ephron like, hey, if you ever need help, some stuff is happening in the Zoom chat. If you ever need help, you know how to find me, and you know, stay in touch. It's nice to meet you. It's good to see you again. And then like I think the last thing we see is like Sharmilla like walking over to Madur and just being like, so when do we hit the road again?
And Madur, what happens with you?
So in the days after, I think we get a shot, like a, you know, the low music, like low string music, and a shot of like Bigum John reading a letter that's like, please meet me at this place. And then we get a shot of, what's the Angkor Khana's leader, Hevan
Sahib.
Yeah,
type it.
Reading a letter that says like, we have to meet, like I'd like to talk to you, signed an old friend, right? They're both it's the same letter but anonymous. And then we get a shot of like just a little tea house, kind of in between where the two houses are, and
not far from Murgy, but a
yeah,
nicer
not far
place.
from Murgy. And there's a shot of Mador from behind, like adjusting his clothing, and he reaches in to his robes and he looks at the vial of goldenrod perfume, and he takes a breath and he says, Kieran, my old friend, let's see if you've still got that magic. Spritzes himself, pushes open the door, and walks in to the tea house where both of the house leaders are seated with tea, and says, my friends, shall we discuss your situation a bit more civilly?
And
then
the
jump cut.
camera sort of cuts to Yasmin.
Okay, well, immediately after, first thing, she would have gone to make sure that her cousin's still all right. Between, the illness and...
Karat is fine, and once Asfandiar heals, Karat promises to go pay a visit.
And with that settled, she's going to come back. She's going to talk with Karuna a bit about just, okay, so you can turn into this animal. How did they react to you? Because they talked to me, but I mean, I'm not one of them. So is it like easier when you're them? Because that's really cool. And she's going to, after that discussion with Sharmila, definitely have a lot to think about. She is not feeling good about having taken a human life, but several. But, you know, she, at the same time, she talks with animals and sometimes has to kill them too. So she is going to eventually find her own peace with that. And she is going to go up to Mador at some point before, whenever they hit the road again, and say, I didn't know that, I knew you all were laughing. I didn't know that you were laughing at me. But thank you for helping me and giving me the confidence to help stand up at the end. I know I have a lot to learn, and I didn't expect to be here this early, but I'm feeling a little bit better about it. And maybe next time you laugh at me, I'll be in on the joke.
Cut the stream while we all cry.
Yasmin.
Oh, God.
And the camera.
Yasmin.
And last but not least, Karuna. What do you do?
Karuna's going to spend many months here and will eventually come to consider it a second home. Between their fascination with Aubrey and this more scientifical, medicinal approach to very similar things. Whenever they see Aubrey breaking a bangle and releasing this effect, it's the same thing as when I commune with the earth. I can commune with spirits, just not the same way. So it's almost like you have this instantaneous, like, I've stored this spirituality and unleashed it, whereas I just take more time to commune. So I would spend a lot of time in the future with Aubrey. In the immediate, I would have definitely had the animalese conversations with Yasmin. And I imagine I encourage Yasmin to spend more time with the animals, and eventually you probably can take like a step in the druid way, so you can always be fluent in animals and they listen and talk back to you, and it's not just your bird friend. I thank Sharmila for doing what needed to be done after hearing Yasmin's account of what occurred outside. And then I would ask Ifran and Madur to spend some time to help me perform a larger ritual to help protect the waters, and maybe thank the Father Earth as well, to try and make peace with the nature around and deal with what the shitty humans have done.
And as you all are doing the ritual and communing, the camera sort of pans into sort of like a wide shot of the city and the beauty of this terraced city around this lake in this mountainous area. That's where it starts to fade to black and, you know, the credits roll. And this is the game.
Yay!
I didn't.
Frickin' Yasmin, you poor sweet sugar.
Oh
You
my
little
god.
cinnamon roll. I must protect you forever.
Yeah.
I was
Furball
expecting to
friend.
die.
But you did it. We're all good.
So as we sort of now wrap up, and I'd like to go around the table, and I'd like all of you to tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part or what you liked throughout this entire short shot. And we'll start with Sharmila.
That's me. Hey, folks. I remain Fox Barrett at Fox_Barrett on Twitter, where I haven't been tweeting much the last couple of days, so don't even worry about it. Oh, no, wait. No, I totally did. I was tweeting dumb stuff about tabletop RPGs because I think they're rad, like when we just played here. Where the hell can you find me? That's a really good question. So, let's start from Saturdays. Saturdays at 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on the channel, I run our Scum and Villainy game, Stars Asunder. Sundays, I have a twofold deal. I'm over on twitch.tv/devilsluckgaming as part of their Shadowrun game, which is a shitload of fun. I'm also here midnight Eastern time, by the way. Midnight Eastern time on Sundays for Emissaries of Avithna. Monday nights, I produce Side Quests, our weekly one-shot series that has a rotating cast, and we always play a different game. I was actually on our last episode. You just missed it. We played an amazing game of Paranoia XP. It was a lot of fun. We got into a lot of trouble. Go check out the VODs. When we get it up on YouTube, check it out over there.
They usually come out 48 hours
Oh.
after they air, usually within.
There you go then. It was a whole wonderful, beautiful mess. Next week we have got. I'm checking the schedule right now, and oh god, that's right. Next week they're gonna be playing actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. I believe
I forgot.
I believe our GM is here in this game. If they might raise their hand, who could they be? Who could they be?
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's gonna be going down at 9:30 Eastern time on Monday. Again, right here on the channel. And finally, I am on Live in the Labyrinth over on twitch.tv/SteveJacksonGames. I've been helping them show off to folks how super cool their super old game, The Fantasy Trip, is. And I play an orc wizard over there who uses an arquebus as a wizard staff. It's a lot of fun. It's weird and wild. And I thank you, Steve Jackson Games, for that opportunity to be on that stream. Wednesdays, 3 o'clock at Eastern time. Yes. I'm also all over our Discord. I'm a mod over there. Just come in, say, do you have gay feelings? I will appear. And I
insert rainbow tomato here.
And also the million Bollywood gifts.
Yes.
And I lost my train of thought. I write things on the Patreon. Go check it out sometime. That's me.
All right. And was there anything you liked about the series?
Nah.
That's cool.
You just cut it right there.
God, there was so much. This whole crew was pretty friggin' amazing, all told. I have a hard time focusing in on one. So yeah, I can't pick one moment. It all kind of jumbles together. But this has been an amazing crew. This is one of the better groups I have certainly played with on the channel. To be perfectly honest, this was a treat. So yeah. I just really appreciate the energy everyone brought here. God, kind of all over. I really wish my phone would stop ringing. Shut up. That's my least favorite part, is the part where my phone rings. But my favorite part has just been, spending this time with y'all. So this has been fun. And honestly, that's what it is. I always have to run Dungeon World. I never get to play Dungeon World. This was awesome in that regard.
All right, and
I gotta go yell at my phone. 1 second.
Oh God, the chair attacks the mic.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I played Yasmin this campaign. You can find me on Twitter at Sithwitch. I mostly post retweets about angry political stuff and occasional retweets of just things that make me laugh, because we need that. And some of my cat's antics. You can see one behind me right now. That is Tonks. He's the good cat, mostly. You can find pretty much everything that I am online at my website, lwsalinas.com. For those who don't know, I am a voice actress and audiobook narrator. And I'm on Discord sometimes, not lately because I was trying to finish up an audiobook and I finally did. And my favorite things about this campaign, well, I love the setting. This is my second time playing in a Sarzamine game. I've never actually, I think, played Dungeon World before. I was kind of familiar. I've built a character in it, but I've never played that character. So I really liked the bond system and how it kind of encouraged us to all figure out, okay, how do we know each other and things like that. Okay. In this episode, that whole thing with Ifran and Aubrey, my heart just broke. So that was great. Every time Mador opened his mouth, every time Sharmil is just very matter of fact, every time Karuna is like just so very like spiritual and at the same time kind of amazed by the whole newness of what she's taking in.
Hey.
Everybody's just so amazing. It's been a pleasure playing with you all. Thank you so much. And Mariam, you're an amazing DM.
Thank you. Yeah, it just feels. Next, Karuna.
Ooh, me. Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess. I go by Burst of Hope on Twitter. And this has been fabulous. Plugs tomorrow. One shot of Visigoths versus Molgoths, an indie game. That'll be on stream at the WebDM show starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, I have another finale of a Cthulhu-esque game in the Cypher system called Men of Letters on Unmade Gaming. And then Monday, you can catch me at Variant Roles playing The Watch, another Powered by the Apocalypse game with the metaphorical, allegorical shadow that is toxic masculinity.
That game is rad as hell. I've read it and I desperately want to run it. It's so good. It's so good.
It is really good. We streamed our session 0. We had our first session last week and it was intense. I was in tears both from feelings and then eventually from laughing. So we have a really good crew there, and it's
amazing. Watch it.
Yeah, we've got live captioning, so we're trying to make it as accessible as possible. We've got safety tools going on directly on camera. Other than that, follow me on Twitter. My favorite thing about this campaign, I think it was perfectly timed. This was like four shot, perfect. I love it. I only wish I had more time with Angela and Ulfric because you guys are awesome and I need more playtime. They really rounded out our team and it was so wholesome and good. Simon, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was epic. You played the Bard Cleric beautifully. You were always ready with beautiful words. And I was like, where are these feelings coming from? I don't understand. Fox, you are obviously a huge boon to this channel. We don't know what we would have done. Like, I'm new to Powered by the Apocalypse, definitely new to Dungeon World, so like you were always there to accelerate the process and make sure there's no dead air. So that was good. Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can separate Yasmin from Lauren. Like, you such all your stories, such a sweet being. Thank you so much. And I don't think I've ever been on a stream with as many stream kitties as this channel. Like, this is beautiful. And obviously, Mariam, thank you. This is I'm not a big fantasy person. I don't do D&D as much anymore, but I'm obsessed with Stars. I mean, this was a beautiful setting, and I can't wait. Like, I keep pushing it forward. It deserves to have more public-facing things. Everybody deserves to hear about it and play it.
Thank you. And next is Mother.
Hello, my name is Simon, and I played Madur. I'm gonna put him back on the shelf. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris, where I talk a lot about LARPing and social justice and board games. I do a series of YouTube videos sort of breaking down game theory and role-playing game theory from a kind of more social justice lens, the big picture lens. You can find that on my Twitter. I also run a Deco Punk LARP in Massachusetts, 1920s Bioshock meets Mish Fister's Murder Mysteries. It's a great time. If you are in the area, we would love to have you as an NPC at our finale event October 4th. You can learn more about that at attawaylarp.com. And I'm also a contributing voice actor on the Penumbra podcast, which is a very queer sci-fi and fantasy podcast, audio drama. So you can hear my voice on a couple of characters in season 2 and coming up in season 3, but I can't talk about that or I'll get slapped. So my favorite parts of this game have been seeing how much incredible characterization everyone has brought to the table. I have been so impressed with how strongly people have chosen a theme or a personality trait for their characters and really sold it and used that as their basis for all action. Like, everyone was so honest in their role play that that's really satisfying to play off of and watch happen. So, like, as a player, even though, you know, if I was an audience member, I would love this, but as a player, it's just as satisfying to be able to know that someone is there to bounce off of and is going to give everyone else at the table, the GM included, something to work with and something to build off of. So I really loved all of the interactions that I normally had with everyone, but seeing what everyone else was going to do. And also, like, on a personal level, like, how many settings do you know of that are decolonized and super focused on non-European fantasy? I can't point to very many, like, on one hand tops. And so being able to play in a game world that is based around a world where, like, almost everyone looks like me, and where so many players are, you know, beautiful marginalized people, like, that is very powerful, and that is very rewarding to be given the honor to be a part of. So thank you all.
Yes, thank you. And next is Aubrey.
Oh, hello there, everybody. I promise I am only 80% as stressed in my actual life as Aubrey is in this game. So I'm Angela, otherwise known as Phoenix24Fem on Twitter. I share a bunch of social justice, disability rights, and justice advocacy work and mental health things on there, and also share a bunch of, like, gay and trans feelings, because I have a lot of those every day of my life. You can also find me on Patreon at Philosophem, where I am actually at the end of this week opening up my TTRPG music commissions again, because I've had 3 for this past month. I've had one that will be released very soon at the end of the month on the website of someone else in our community very soon. And the theme that was used for this short shot was created by myself. We got it in just in time for Mariam to use it.
Literally
And
days before.
Days before it worked out. I was so happy. But you can also find me as the gender nonconforming Blue Dragonborn over on Sleeping Angels Lie on Fridays. You can find me as the DM for Adventures in Agni, which is all POC cast that is playing on Saturday evenings. You can find me at Emissaries of Avithna, where I play far less stressed and far more disabled and proud leader slash No, leader of my not of the group. Leader in canon world lore.
I'm being a butt. Just ignore me.
Pish posh. But if I ignored you, then I can't get into the details of my favorite parts of the game. You knew this was coming, Fox.
Angela. God damn it.
In all honesty, that's pretty much all the places you can find me. That and Queerly Yours podcast, where my partner and I talk about being a both trans, polyamorous, and being a couple for as of this Sunday 8 years. So that's a thing.
They're a wholesome podcast. Go listen to it. They're such sweet beats.
Favorite part of this game, honestly, I just love this group of people. Like, so many folks in here I've gotten to play with in like little bits and instances, but to have this whole full group, it was amazing. Mariam, you're one of my favorite just GMs because you are the right amount of ridiculous and serious in the best kinds of ways. And I think as much as I just loved all the little nuances to the kind of awkwardness that Yasmin had, and also the wholesomeness, the sense of growing, why do none of you realize what's happening energy that was all of Karuna, the straightforwardness of Sharmila, Madhur just being the best bard that could have ever barded, and Ifran just honestly being just a sincere character that I love. That honestly, I would put that down as my favorite moment. That like my immediate reaction to hearing like Ifran doesn't forgive you in those moments was like, oh, I'm gonna cry, like actually cry. And I'm like, I think that's my favorite moment, because I've never really had a short shot or anything where I've had a character leave off, at least for now, for like what the immediate epilogue is of like, it didn't end well. And I'm like, actually, that's good. That's a good first experience. I'm okay with that. And that's a testament to the safety that the space created and the just genuine talent and just skill of characterization, like Madhur said earlier, like Simon said. Folks here are talented and great, and I love you all so much because you're all amazing.
And Ifran.
Hey, I go by Ulfrig online. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by that, actually, so thank you. I go by Ulfrig online. You can mostly find me on the Discords, and I will be doing something totally different next Monday at 9:30 when I basically give you the glorious gore fest of ridiculousness known to mankind that is actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. The phrase blood everywhere will probably happen multiple times. And because I don't really do the socials, I always like to throw some light on something that I really enjoy that I think is doing important work. So if I see the chat was popping off going, damn, this group was good and this world was awesome. If you like it, I'm going to plug this for you because I know you're going to get shy about it. Check out the Musaphir's podcast. It is awesome sauce. It comes out every other week. It is set in Sarzamine. There was a song 2 episodes ago that legit made me cry at work because it was so tender and beautiful. If you like Sarzamine, if you like what Miriam does, check out the Musaphers. Yeah. And my favorite moment in this, like everyone said, there was a lot, but one that hasn't been mentioned yet is all of the descriptions of the food. Oh my gosh. I would always be so hungry after that because they were just so scintillating. And oh man, I want to eat right now just thinking of the descriptions of the food. So
surprisingly,
thank you.
no food. There was no food in this episode.
We did mention the chicken lollipops again.
We did.
The only thing they will taste is my blade.
Several magic missiles coalesce in the direction of the chicken lollipop stand.
You wouldn't.
I would.
I want to know what was on the tinfoil wrapper.
I will tell you in a bit.
We are still on stream, y'all. We have to let this finish.
Yes.
Yeah, Riss is coming up here real shortly, so we gotta wrap.
Yeah, we gotta make space for the next show at 8:00. So very quickly, you can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. That's where you can find out all the things I'm in. This is the finale for Politics and Plagues, which means this is done. And otherwise, I am, as mentioned previously, I am in Stars Asunder, which is Space Bastards. It is pretty awesome. We had our first episode this Saturday. It is at 7 p.m. ET. And these are all unwelcome to the party. And following after, I play a hobgoblin wizard on Adventures in Agni. Which Angela's GMing. I think pretty much most of my GMs are here, or if I'm playing with
hi
someone.
there.
Hello.
Hi, Ma.
When 3V comes back from their break, you can usually find me there. In addition, I am Bubber Share, the Tiger Folk bard who is having a bit of a quarter life crisis. And and sometimes you may find me on side quests. And as Ulfrig so generously noted, I am also the GM of the Musafirs. We just released episode 8, and due to life commitments, there will be about a month break. So the next episode will release closer to end of October, just so that everybody can handle stuff. My favorite part, aside from everything you all mentioned, because I think I will say who my favorite NPCs or moments are. So definitely Murky. I had a lot of fun channeling some like Dhaka street vendors in there, you know. The ducks, I think, were some of my favorite last minute on the fly things.
They have culture. The ducks have culture. What does this mean?
Basically, foul. I love being foul, essentially. And with that, last thank you to our sponsors, Roll20, So Nerdware, Tabletop Loot, Devin Rue, and if you want to support us, Patreon. And if you want to join the conversation, get onto our Discord. In the short time before we get into Blood, Dirt, and Chrome, which will happen at 8 o'clock, we are going to raid One Drop for Flint, which I will start. While we're rating them, make sure to get out your stuff and words and raid, and be right back at 8 o'clock for Blood, Dirt, and Chrome. Bye!